tonight, so they're probably not good.
Almost 20 years ago, some developers in a small studio in Florida dreamed up a Chicago street course in the old EA NASCAR games, and then, in the recent era, NASCAR has committed copyright infringement and brought that idea to reality. Race fans, the 100% Cup Series welcomes you to the streets of Chicago for some road racing action. I'm Andre Grimbush, joined alongside the producer Carlos Costa, pushing the buttons, bringing all the action to your TVs and computers. And of course, Cody Bird working the co-commentary, and Corey as well for a three-man booth. Boys, it's going to be an interesting race. This was something that the drivers who did show up even weren't really planning on because there was a lot of talk back and forth in the league. Are we going to go here? Are we going to do this race? And it was not confirmed until last week. So kind of coming out of nowhere. And I think it's going to be a little bit tough for these guys. What do you think, Cody?
Yeah, I think that this is one of those courses that's going to be difficult for a lot of these drivers. Obviously, we've seen the dominance of Andrew Dyson and Neil Pearson on these road courses. But this is a road course like we've never seen before, Corey, with an actual street course, obviously back in 1948 to 50s, there was the Daytona Beach course, which is considered a road or a street course. This, though, completely different.
Yeah, very narrow confines and a ton of bumps here, so these guys will not have no room for mistakes. There's hardly even any runoff here that you'd see at an IndyCar era street circuit here, so very, very difficult. And a lot of tractor trailers, the teams chose not to take out to the city of Chicago here, but we already are at the end of practice, and just as we start this broadcast, let's get ready to head down trackside, and we'll give you a starting lineup here. I guess we'd have to go really fast here. Points are on the screen. You can see Lucas Hoytsma up on the top of the pylon. 3 wins, has the most playoff points. John Delaney in second, who I don't think is here today. Hoffman, Gitter, and Long in top 5 in points.
Then moving on from the playoff picture, we're going to head on over to, I believe, the Rookie of the Year standings, which is currently still being held on to by Patrick Gitter. He's got 101 points over Andrew Dyson, who's expected to perform pretty well tonight at this road course. So we'll see how that picture changes by the end of the day. And the team standings, Team Conti reclaims third last week. LMM did win the race, but Conti had a little bit more consistency, and that got them back into the money. Dirty South still P2, and Apex top of your team standings. Manufacturer Championship, Chevrolet still on top. That's been the same story all year long. Ford getting a little bit closer, only 27 points back, and the distant trailing Toyota in third. They're a little over 100 points back. But our starting grid, Andrew Dyson, again, expected to do very well today. Puts that 0-4 on pole. He's right next to Alexander Van de Sant, another road course specialist. We got Pearson in third. He's going to be right next to Matt DiCiani. Lucas Hoytsma for LMM in P5. Patrick Gitter is going to be P6. Sean O'Brien Jr. for Apex is going to be 7th, right alongside Jim Schofield. Clayton Hoffman is going to be in P9. And another Apex driver, Cameron Stone, he's our in-race reporter, P10.
Nolan Hodgkinson will be starting 11th with Trevor Ryan alongside of him in 12th. And starting 13th is, once it updates, Tanner Marty in 13th, Randy Drumhiller in the 44 and 14th. Robert Anderson starting 15th with Jason S. Jedi Taylor starting 16th. DeMars Hickenbottom with 17th place starting spot, and Blake Giglio 18th. Kevin Steele 19th and Adam Benefield 20th, and Corey round out our field.
Oh my God, you guys gave me a whole bunch. I can't remember if I can name all these. Alex 21st and Raymond R.J. Root shotgun on the field in 22nd, and that's it. I don't know if they couldn't get through the toll roads or what's going on here, but not a lot of guys chose the trip here to the Chicago street circuit, so it could be a good points day for those who did take part, with some big names not here today.
And I do want to point out, you may have noticed Kevin Steele driving that number 6. He is filling in for Jonathan Delaney. I have to assume that he's off glamping somewhere again this weekend. But nonetheless, just when we thought he was out, we pull him back in. Kevin Steele intended to go into partial retirement, I believe, this year, and he just keeps coming back. He's got to fill in for his drivers, and he's got to manage some things from in-sim, and he gets behind the wheel to do it. So he will be taking on the streets of Chicago. He did surprisingly well at Sonoma, and that was one thing that we pointed out on the broadcast, and one thing that I talked to him a little bit about afterwards. He said he was as surprised as anybody else that he had passed 12 cars in just a few laps to start that race. So we'll see if he can carry that road course speed to a little bit of a different type of track. This is much narrower than Sonoma, and again, mostly comprised of 90-degree corners. So a lot of braking, very low speed in the turns. Only one high-speed set of turns, which even still requires some lift. So not quite the same as Sonoma. Base car making a right-hand turn. I'm not even entirely certain where the pit road is. I don't own this track in sim, but I believe it should be somewhere up this hill.
Yep. This is turn number 12 right here. So this is going to be pace car pulling in. We're going to get ourselves on our way for the first street course race at 100% competition. Dyson is going to lead him on down. He's going to be on the right side of your screen, left side of the racetrack. Green flag in the air. Let's go street racing at Chicago.
Yeah, Andrew Dyson gets off to a massive start going into turn 1 here, and is going to easily take the lead over Alex Van. And there are all over the place already, and we have made it one corner, Andre.
Well, we got 4 wide momentarily. There was definitely some contact back there. Couldn't quite make out who got into who or what exactly happened. But nonetheless, I think everybody did make it out the other side, regardless of how much damage they may have accrued. They're still headed in the right direction, so that's something. But that did give us a 3-car breakaway. We got 3 drivers that are very, very talented at the road courses. Dyson, Van de Stant, Pearson, 1, 2, 3. And they got about a second and a half over Matt Dicciani in P4. Patrick Gitter is going to be 5th. He's about 3 seconds off of our leader. Schofield is going to be 6th. Our in-race reporter, Cameron Stone, moves up to P7. So he's up 3. He must have gained something in that scuffle. Hoffman in the 92. Lucas Weitzman, P9. Sean O'Brien Jr. is going to round out your top 10. But so far, a lot of single file, which I think is what we're going to kind of expect to see for the majority of these 100 laps. It's not a track that really promotes much side-by-side battling unless it's absolutely necessary. But nonetheless, our leaders are out to a really good start.
Yeah, I did see there that it was the 92 of the 96 of Van de Stant got really loose exiting turn 1, as well as Lucas Hoitzman. There was no actual driver spinning there on the opening lap, but just a couple that got a little bit frisky on the accelerator pedal exiting turn number 1 here. But they have gotten a little bit of temp in the tires and in the brakes here, as brake temp very, very important here to allow you to charge these corners here as they exit turn number 2 down the straightaway turn number 3 right hand kink here, and then that takes you into a very difficult complex here, turns 4 and 5, narrowest and most gutsy part of the track to get this downward speed. 3-lane interstate changing lanes, that opens the door for a passing zone into turn number 6.
Yeah, and that is what we're going to affectionately refer to that as Manufacturer's Alley the rest of the night. And I guess this is Stenhouse Straight they are currently going down. But yeah, no, it's definitely interesting to see what these guys are going to do with such a short compound like this. Obviously, never been tested before to a degree, and these guys are going to get after it.
And one thing I'm noticing about in sim versus real life is just how smooth this track seems to be in the sim. We don't really see these cars bouncing around quite to the extent we saw in real life. In real life, Denny Hamlin said that was the hardest thing he's ever had to do in a race car, was navigate this track, not just because it's so narrow, but because it was really beating him up. Here we do have our track map, which a few drivers have lovingly created. We've got turn 1, turn 2, Mid-Ohio, McDonald's Alley 1, Manufacturer Bend, the Xfinity 10G, not turn 10, Wallabonga Longa Mana Logo, Jiggly City, McDonald's Alley 2, the last turn, and then, of course, our start-finish line. There's no way I'm going to remember all of that, but for those of you at home, if you want to pin that on your wall just so you know where they're at, some of these drivers, you know, in real life, they tack on a little map of the track on their dashboard, and I like to imagine that's the map that most of these drivers got pinned to their dashboard.
I mean, just in all sincerity, though, a lot of drivers in the real world, and I would imagine even in sims, a couple guys, you will see at road courses that drivers will actually have track maps on their dashes for the sake of, hey, as we do have an issue. That is the 16, Blake Giglio, that at the McDonald's funnel there. I don't know what we want to call that, but he will have to back up and get himself situated there in that number 16. Lucas Hoitzman, teammate there on screen right there, coming through the bend, or whatever sort of bend we called it there on that track map.
And going into McDonald's Alley 2. Something cool about Lucas's paint scheme. Obviously, we know how he feels about this track with the Chicago, or should have run Chicagoland paint scheme, I believe it is. Andre?
Indeed, I was
I
was ghosting here, and I came across his rear bumper. I don't know if we can get it on board of the guy behind him if he's close enough. I don't think he is, but he does have the Chicagoland Speedway on his rear bumper. Does the 07.
Yeah, I think a lot of drivers probably would have preferred Chicagoland. It's a bit more of a traditional track, but it's kind of and in all credit to Damaris, it is a tough decision to make because it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. I remember there were times in the past where the league admins decided, hey, we're not going to follow the NASCAR schedule 1-to-1. There's a track that's coming up that nobody really likes. We're going to swap it out and substitute it. And they got a lot of flack for that. They said, hey, if you're trying to emulate NASCAR, you should emulate NASCAR. And if people don't like it, then too bad. They can just not show up. So this time around, they made the decision, all right, well, then we're just going to follow it 1-to-1. And they got a little bit of criticism for that, too. So, anytime you're managing a group of people, there's always going to be two sides to everything, and maybe more. But, man, oh, man, that Chicagoland Speedway car on the bumper of our driver cam.
Nelly.
And he's giving us, this is some OnlyFans content. What is going on here?
Yeah.
Look at that glisten. It's like he oiled up for this.
Hopefully we're getting monetization for this because this should be free.
Oh yeah, I mean, this I know people would pay $5 a month for this.
I would. But that's just me. Yeah, but also just something I don't know if we have a replay of it. Damaris is currently already a minute or he was, I believe that's
48 seconds behind the pace right now.
Okay, I thought it said 60 earlier. But yeah, no, we're already starting to see some gaps. Obviously, the top three kind of broke away from the rest of the field, and we've talked about it all night already. The top three guys, they've won 3 of the last 4 road courses, with John Delaney being in between all of them. But these guys know how to get it done at a road course, and to everybody's surprise early on, Alex Van de Sant is right on the back bumper of Andrew Dyson.
In qualifying, Trim, I will say that I thought Dyson was just going to walk away when we saw the starting grid, but in that 30-minute practice, Van de Sant really found something. He was faster for a large portion of the session, and then it really tightened up towards the end of it. So while this may be a very spread out field, I think 1, 2, and maybe even 3, Pearson hanging on to the tail there, we still could have an interesting battle for the race win, if nothing else.
I got to tell you, I'm not that surprised that Van de Sant is keeping pace with Dyson, at least for right now. When Van de Sant came in 100% as an iRock driver, he was coming off of a IndyCar league, I believe it was. And IndyCar obviously has a lot of street courses, and this style of racing is something that any IndyCar fan is going to be intimately familiar with. So Van de Sant, having that background, doing really well, running P2 right now. Of course, it's a different car. It's going to handle differently. There's going to be different nuances. But overall, same circuit type, same track type. So you kind of get the feel for it. You learn the technique that may be required, the racing lines required, and it all kind of transfers over. So he's doing really good. Pearson, on the other hand, he was right with our leaders. He's dropped back by about 3 seconds to the leader and about 2 seconds back from Alex Van de Sant. So he's starting to drop back just a little ways. He's got plenty of room back to Dicciani, though. It's about, give or take, 6 seconds back there. And Patrick Gitter, he's way back there, 9 seconds off of the leader. Although he's actually not far from Dicciani. There's a battle on track between the 4 and the 21, according to our timing and scoring, although it is constantly fluctuating. Schofield, 12 seconds back. A lot of separation early on, which I know that you in particular, Corey, you kind of predicted.
Caution.
And that we could not have predicted. Now, I want to remind the viewers at home, 100% Cup Series does use a software which will throw cautions at random intervals depending on a hidden value for the incident points.
Giglio, sorry to cut you off, Giglio spun in the McDonald's funnel, turn number 4-ish. I think that actually was a triggered caution by Sim if it does do that on road courses.
It does not. So that it may have triggered it via the incident points, but it did not trigger it because of the wreck specifically. Because again, it's the accumulative amount of incident points for the entire field. There are variable values that are set, and so this one could have been, let's say, 26 incident points across the whole field. And when we get to that point, no matter what the incident is, caution flag will fly. And that right there, that's got to be probably a 2x to the wall and a loss of control, so at least 3. And that added on to the tally, probably just enough to give us our first caution. The question is, does anybody come down pit road? Because we do have 4 sets of tires. We can go, according to Cody, somewhere around 35, 36 laps on fuel. I would say it's a little bit too early, but what do you think, Cody?
I'll fill in for Cody right here.
Great input.
Andrew Dyson's last lap was his fastest lap of the race, so tires not a concern. But to the akin of fuel, road races, you kind of run them backwards. So if we're not in I don't think we're in a fuel window. I would presume most of these guys would stay out. I do expect a lot of guys in the back to come in because there has to be some damage accumulated from many of these drivers, so why not get that fixed? But from a strategy perspective, I don't really think we'll see many come down.
So Cody is saying Discord is currently crashing on him, so we'll have to wait for him to get that sorted out. And everybody pacing around this circuit, and as our producer just said, apparently Elon must have bought Discord. Cody used up his Discord limit.
I'm here. I'm back.
There you go.
He paid. He paid.
Yeah, that was a fun little period there. Okay, I think we're still good. You still got me?
Yep, we got you.
Okay, I am having some storms roll through here in Pennsylvania, so it's we're having a little fun here today.
So this is going to be another shot for Van de Sant. I think restarts are going to be probably the most important thing in this race. Number one, they're going to come at a premium, because I think the further we get into this race, the more uncommon these incident point-based cautions will become. That seems to be the trend at all of these road course races. Generally, we get anywhere between 2 to 3. So not that many cautions, not that many restarts. And track position is more valuable here than I think anywhere else on the entire NASCAR circuit. Passing is so tough. Track is so narrow. You're pretty much going to have to muscle your way around somebody. It's kind of like Martinsville on steroids in terms of passing. But if you can get by them on the restart, if you get a good jump or they mess up turn 1 and you can get out to the lead, even if you're not the fastest car on the track, it's a lot easier to play defense here than it is offense. So these drivers are probably kind of psyching themselves up behind the wheel trying to get ready for this restart.
Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate here and kind of go on the other end of the spectrum. I don't think passing here is going to be that difficult. And the reason I say that is because unless it's a heated battle late in the race, 98% of these guys are in pure survival mode. So my instinct is, if you see someone closing in on you, you don't want the pressure, you don't want the distraction. You're just going to let them go so that you don't demolish your car. Of course, the last stage of the race, phase, if there is a battle for position, I think you'll fight a little harder for it. But I think this is a survival race. You say Darlington is a race to track, not the competition. That is like 100x exemplified here at Chicago.
I agree with you there, but I will say this, and this is another aspect to consider. Look at some of the names inside the top 10 right now. We got Van de Sant running second. We got DiCiani running fourth. We've got Hoffman in the 92 in ninth. We got Trevor Ryan inside the top 10. We got Nolan Hodgson just outside the top 10. These are drivers that are usually a little bit further back in the grid. This is shaping up to be a really good points day for these guys, and I don't think they're going to be so willing to roll over and let people pass them when they got this good track position.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Andre. I think a lot of these guys are going to find ways, and you can see it up on the points graphic here. The amount of points paying positions that are left is down to, it looks, 6 drivers, and there's still 9 races left. So all these guys are trying to find the points needed to stay up there and try not to lose any.
And you guys can clarify this for me from a point of standings and rule perspective. Is there any drop week or provisionals for drivers that do miss weeks in the series? Probably
Nope.
should know that, but I don't.
Nope, there is none. So all these guys you need to run 12 races in the regular season, I believe, the Robert Miller rule. but I don't believe there's any technical drop leaks. So if you have a bad week, you can drop any now.
Or if you can't make a race, you don't have a provisional to get like last place. So basically, if you miss a race, you miss a race.
Yes. Now, the 100% Cup Series does have a system in place, sort of like real life, where you can find a fill-in driver as long as you notify the admins. I believe it is at least a day before the race that there will be another driver behind the wheel of your number as a team owner. They will credit them with the points. So it won't be driver points, but it will be team points. And that can be just as valuable because, again, team points actually pays money. So drivers are going to be looking to make sure that number gets at least points for the team if they can't get points for the driver. But yeah, if you miss a race, you miss a race. And that's why a lot of these drivers try to show up every week if they can. It's very rare to see an event like this where we only have realistically half of a field because everybody knows those points are so valuable. But again, that's going to play into the aggression for drivers like Tanner Marty and Trevor Ryan. These guys inside the top 10 having really good points days, they're going to be pulling away from drivers like John Delaney in terms of points for this week at least. Because yes, the 6 car's on track, but that's Kevin Steele. Those points go to Kevin Steele as a driver and Kevin Steele's team Apex, of course, but they do not go to that number 6 as far as the playoff is concerned. So they're going to be playing it defensive. They want to get every point they can. Trevor Ryan, we saw, was only, I believe, 33 points above the cut. So that's not very much when we have quite a few races left before the playoffs, and there is more than 33 points per race. If he were to miss a race, hey, he's out of the playoffs.
And I do also want to addendum here, just for the sake of this being a late start time, both akin to real life and in sim here. It is just about 5 o'clock sim time. So if this race becomes too long, we will be on the outskirts of sunset here at Chicago. So, and the street lights do not work. We will not go full lights, but full night. But it will get kind of dark if there's a lot of cautions here. So, just little dramatic notes to have in the background.
Sunset in Chicago tonight should be about 9 p.m.
You ruined my drama.
Or actually, no. Wait, hold on a minute.
It's Central Time Zone.
It'd be 8 o'clock. Oh.
Yep. So subtract an hour.
It's
okay,
5
so
o'clock
it would have
time
to be
right now.
It'd have to be about 3 hours then to get to 8 o'clock. If this race goes on for 3 hours, we've got major issues. I don't see that happening, but it could.
I mean, the sun will start going down. 7 o'clock sim time, 7:30 will be in your eyes. It will be getting, a lot more shade, which will make things look a little scarier at times. But we are getting ready for a restart here. And green flag in the air. Dyson gets this thing up and at it. He'll clear and get the ideal line entering turn 1.
So Van de Sant not quite making the use of that restart like he was probably hoping to, but he is still on the bumper of Dyson. Neil Pearson gets a single file as well. Behind him, a lot of double file headed into that corner. See who can sort themselves out. Some drivers having to take a very shallow exit as they are side by side with their competitors. Not the ideal line, especially on a track that's hard to run when you are on the ideal line, let alone when you're trying to pinch the car and keep it down low. But around yet another set of turns, it's going to stay single file out front. Matt DiCiani, solid top 5 car so far today. He is starting to gap himself to get her just a little bit. These top 3, nobody seems to have anybody for them. They are the class of the field. They were for the first 10 laps, and it looks like that trend is going to continue as they cross over the bridge.
Down into the Xfinity mobile area. That's kind of how I've learned parts of the track, as I just go off of the sponsors. So the Xfinity section and the McDonald's section are both very difficult. As we head to another McDonald's section here, the McDonald's funnel, or whatever we called it, leads us into the right-hander, going up a hill. Car gets really light here, and then back down onto the binders for another 90-degree right-hander, which will be the pit straight here, taking lap number 10. 10% distance has concluded itself here.
Yeah, I'm going to be kind of curious once we get into the later stages of this race with pits and everything. That pit entry, as you probably just saw, is a very sharp corner. And these guys need to use that whole corner to get back onto the front stretch. So there could be a chance for some incidents if people aren't calling out their pit entries.
Yeah, that is obviously always a risk at every track that NASCAR goes to, but here especially, it's kind of that Watkins-Glen syndrome where it's coming right out of a turn and then immediately into the pits on the right-hand side, which is going to catch a lot of drivers off guard and could lead to some issues for sure. And that is going to be not only difficult, to react to drivers coming down the pits and making sure they call it out, but also as a driver, remembering, hey, that's where pit road is. Pulling into a pit stall on the opposite side is something that you generally only do at Watkins Glen. We have a car around. That's the 24. SOB has turned that thing around. He's got to get that thing. And this is the bad part about a street course. You spin out like that, you just got to watch the whole world go by before you can safely rejoin. Let's take a look at this Pep 24.
Straight wheel hop.
He was hopping that thing halfway down the straightaway. He was backwards before he even got to the corner entry.
Engage bunny mode.
But he kept it off the wall. No, never mind.
Shook the can.
He wanted to.
But it's still drinkable.
It's gonna probably explode in your face, but it seems like
you got to set it on the table and like spin it in little circles. The centrifugal force takes care of it. I learned that on Better Call Saul.
I didn't watch Better Call Saul, so that's probably why I didn't get that reference.
Well, I mean, you should.
I'm not really a fan.
Right here, we do have Adam Benefiel in the 83, closing in on Jedi Jason Taylor in the 41, coming down the back straightaway here into turn number 5. And also worth noting, guys, remember this is a within the last 2 weeks updated version of Chicago. The original version right here, it was kind of an actual interstate. The other side of the interstate was open, which was kind of treacherous. And that situation happened twice. They put some more walls up, and then they also tightened up that last corner, which led up to that very difficult pit entry that we were just talking about here. So even if you ran a lot of Chicago over the last 2 years on iRacing, you kind of had to refine your line in a very short period of time.
Yeah, and with this course, and we saw it a lot in practice today with the Cup Series, these guys' depth perception, especially with having massive buildings in your viewpoint, can have an effect on where you're braking and everything.
Oh.
And if you have somebody like me who gets distracted very easily, and as you can see, a major lockup there as Blake gets out of the way for Adam.
Lockup in Chicago.
I didn't get the reference. But anyway, I got it. Yeah. Yes, but I'm going to pass it off to Andre because I lost track of my words there and have no idea what I'm saying.
But yeah, no, this layout has changed a little bit, and a little change like that. Sometimes a little change to just one portion of the track actually throws you off more than a complete overhaul, because it feels like the same track. You kind of get that muscle memory kicking in. Then you get to that little part that they changed, and your old muscle memory wants to take over, but it's not right. You have to relearn it, so it's tough.
The biggest thing for me on iRacing is looks like we had Matt Stiani on screen and about Pat Gitter there. Whenever iRacing went in the Pro Invitational era, which was when this track was made, and they just added safer barriers to about, 8 tracks, you drove the same track for 10 years, and then all of a sudden you exited the corner and you had 2.5 feet less space. And for months on months, I kept hitting the wall because I could not unlearn the fact that I don't have space there anymore.
Yeah, it's the little changes, because racing is such a muscle memory sport, and it makes sense. You're at such high speeds. A guy that I used to race RC, or actually still do race RC cars with, once said, if you got to think about it, you already wrecked. And I always remembered that quote because he's not wrong. I realized that whenever I'm racing RC cars or playing a racing game like this, it really is just muscle memory. I'm not really thinking about what I'm doing. And the second I do, that's when the mistakes start to kick in. So if they do anything that interferes with that muscle memory, it's a whole new learning curve they got to deal with. But these guys seem to have adapted to it pretty well. Everybody except for Blake Giglio. He's gotten into the wall a couple times. He's not having a good time. But everybody else seems to be getting used to it and putting down some pretty good laps.
So we're told that we had a driver who hates this place enough and knows that this broadcast may need a little filler content and was willing to let us bug him live amongst green flag competition. Is it too early to get the very interesting opinions of one Cameron Stone?
I would say let's see where he is on track. If he's in the middle of a battle, maybe we won't pull him in. But if he's
Yeah, he's closing in on Giglio there, trying to dent the can, the beer can and the soda can, both of which been heavily dented in tonight's efforts.
Yeah, we know Blake's probably going to lock it up again here in a minute anyway, so we could probably pull Cam in. Give me one moment here.
Let's see him get scared when you pull him in.
I'm actually not seeing him in Discord.
So he offered
there
it. I was gonna say, kind of a mover to be to offer it and not even be available.
Surprise, Cam. Andre up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you offered to be the in-race reporter, and I took a little bit of liberties, assuming how literally you meant that. It is in-race. How you feeling out there, buddy?
Well, this track sucks. I hate the brakes on the car. Nothing about this feels consistent at all. I just watched Blake Giglio pull over and let Adam Benefield by, and now he's blocking me, so kind of pissed off.
Does that hurt your feelings a little bit that he let him go, but he's fighting you?
I wouldn't say it hurts my feelings. I don't think that we're friends or anything. I just kind of, kind of mad about it. A little jealous.
Understood. Got a car kind of off to the right there. Good pass there. But one question I want to ask you before we let you get back to your team. You were giving us some leg action on the driver cam there. Is that a trial or are you going to charge for that?
Look what we
No,
made
I'm not going
do.
to charge for that. Oh, y'all didn't make me do that. I've already done that already today.
No,
I will probably do it again.
All right, we'll try to avoid doing that. We're going to put you back with your team, and maybe we'll talk with you a little bit later.
All right, I'm going to see if I can get up here and dump Blake.
He's dumping him, so they will never, ever be back together. Adam Benefield with a little issue there.
Oh, well, hopefully he doesn't actually dump Blake, because now there was intention on the radio.
Oh, yeah. It's been had. A Benefield on replay right there, and the McDonald's funnel. Exiting the funnel, putting the straw in. Whoever was in front of him, I think, screwed him up there, maybe slower than he expected, and didn't have the room to avert there. A replay on board, which will confirm or deny that theory. Yep.
Just,
a little lock up from the Brantmobile.
And what that was exactly what we were talking about last week, Corey. He was following the car in front of him. He was following that line pretty much one-to-one. But the problem is, if you follow somebody's line and they make a mistake, well, you're going to do the same thing.
You say you can't remember what you had for breakfast, but you remember what we were talking about last week.
I remember little bits and pieces. It kind of comes and goes.
You also remember the little tidbits from things that happened 25 years ago. It's interesting how the human brain does work here.
What do we got? Might have been serious here. He puts the bumper to Blake Giglio, and that is going to be for the 12th position if you can get around him. I don't think that hit the wall, damaged Cam too much. He seems to still be on pace, but Blake playing some serious defense here. He rolled over for Adam earlier, like Cam said, but now battle's on. He doesn't want to fall any further back through the grid, and Cam's just trying to figure out a way around him. The problem is all of these corners being 90 degrees. There's no chance.
And then Benefield is just behind right there. He's trying to get his time back from that spot he lost with his issue with Nolan Hodgkinson. And here comes Stone by with a look into one. Doesn't quite have it. Pulls back into line. Giglio, a little bit of wheel hop, a little squirrely on entry, but he regains himself and gets his composure.
Yeah, and we heard these drivers last week, especially Adam Benefield, voice his displeasure for this track, as it has a lot of drivers as Blake hits the wall right there. But Cam's also getting frustrated, and knowing Cam, it's been 666 days since his last win. Yeah, no, kind of devilly. So if Blake is watching the broadcast, you may just want to let him by so that way he doesn't rip out his horns at you.
Well, I think I'd be more concerned if he did win on his 666th day. That's not the day I'd want to break this streak on. But we have an incident on track. I can't quite make out who that is. Take a look at the 100% Cup Series replay. Patrick Gitter in the 21. So he's right behind the number 4, falling back just a little bit from last time we checked in. But that rear end could have been a brake bias issue, a little bit too much. That was a good save. I will say that. You're right. He kept it off the wall. Didn't even lose that many positions, honestly. I think Lucas may be the only driver that passed him. Let's take another look. So
Which is a beauty of a spread out field, is you kind of can afford to make mistakes. You only lose the time on the stopwatch. You won't lose many positions. Yeah, just the one spot, and he still has a pretty good gap behind him in all sincerity.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. And again, the tires are not that big of an issue at the road courses on iRacing right now. The wear is pretty minimal, so even with a big slide like that, he's probably not going to be too far off pace. So a little bit of a mistake, but you know, everybody's making mistakes, so it kind of cancels out. And he had a really good recovery, so big props to Patrick Gitter, still running P6 after that bobble.
Yeah, and as you can see from our broadcast right now, it looks like Nolan is holding up a large portion of the field here, where these guys are just kind of in the way, or Nolan's in the way, and these guys are trying to get around him. But they just can't. Kind of, if you want to use Formula 1 analogies for a street course, DRS train, even though they do not have DRS.
I did a GT4 race at Long Beach, which mind you was a complete blast, and it's at the edge of my attention span of 15 minutes, so it's just about all I can handle. But the problem you have as about 2 wall contacts there in a row in the Xfinity, whatever we're calling it, is you'll be good on the wrong spots of the track. So the guy who's holding everybody up, he's just good enough leading onto a long straightaway that when he's slower than you through the technical bits, you just can't take advantage of it. You're just stuck there, and that's what leads everybody to coagulate together, as we see right here.
I have a saying for the Xfinity area. We can call it the Xfinity hotspot.
Yeah, but that could be like real. That's like actually good, so we can't use that.
You know,
Cody, stop being good at your job, Cody.
I know. Please, I finally say something that's actually worth it.
Yeah, that's actually like legitimately a good thought.
And Jim Stone diving it in on Blake.
He did. Made a little bit of contact, but he wasn't able to make the pass.
Yeah, and
Betterfield bump drafting Stone there down the back straightaway.
I'll tell you what, this group of cars is a recipe for disaster.
Stone
no.
dead.
Oh.
Stone cold.
Oh boy. Oh.
Bad job.
Oh.
Wreck job. I think it was being more appropriate there. That tire barrier had as much give as something that doesn't have give, and I think that's pretty much going to be it. And if we're being honest, I think Cam's probably happy about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure he was having too much fun out there. We'll take a look at the 100% Cup Series replay. See exactly what happened to Cam. So he's still trailing Blake, and I tell you what, that might have just been brake fade. You saw the brake rotors light up, but the car just did not slow to a stop at all. And you got to think, following the 12 car, being in that pack, there was probably a lot of very abrupt braking, trying to avoid rear-ending the guy in front of you. And he was just trying not to lock him up, didn't want to apply too much pressure. And like you said earlier, Corey, the brakes, they're kind of inconsistent. You feel like you push the pedal down halfway, you're not getting any brake pressure, you push them down half an inch more, and suddenly you're locking up the tires. So it's one of the most difficult things on the road courses with these cars, and you add in some more dramatic brake fade that iRacing has kind of been tweaking and improving over the last few months, and you kind of have a recipe for disaster.
And then every single lap, as the fuel burns in the back, you are consistently having to adjust. I mean, we are having a little bit of tire fall off. I think last time by, Dyson about a half second off his best lap, so a little bit of fall off, but the fuel burn. So you are consistently having to dial back your brake zone about maybe an inch or two every single lap to accommodate that. And that if you don't keep up with it, you'll have problems here. But our in-race reporter is now under concussion protocol in the Midfield Care Center.
Before we bring him up, I do want to mention that was the end of stage 1 right there as Dyson
rolling stages.
Stage 20. And we are going to stay green. So Dyson wins the stage. Alexander Van de Sant P2, Pearson, DiCiani, Hoytsma, Gitter, Schofield, Hoffman, Root, and Marty are among the drivers getting points. Let's go ahead and bring Cameron Stone up into the booth. Looks like he is having him a good time over there. Cameron Stone, you got a copy?
Yeah, bud. How you doing?
I said maybe we'd talk to you later.
Yeah.
What happened, man?
I just missed you so much, man.
You had to sail into the tire barrier there?
Well, like I said earlier when I was talking to you guys, something that I've kind of struggled with the next-gen car is braking consistency. So it's like you hit the brakes in a certain spot, you hit your mark, so to speak, in driver talk. But you hit your mark in this car, it doesn't matter because the braking point and the way the brakes behave is dependent on heat and all kinds of other things. So hit the brakes in the same spot that I usually did back there. I don't know what corner that is, like 4 or something, and it just went straight. There was nothing I could do. I was passenger sliding into the tire barrier and destroyed the car.
Can I get an applause sound effect? Because I actually just said like all of that, so now I feel like I actually know what I'm talking about.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, well, I'm sure you've driven the car enough. Well, it really only takes about 3 laps to realize how garbage this car is. So, good job.
So, just quick. So basically, any other track that you would be wrecked out, you'd be mad, you'd be upset, losing points. Are you happy right now, or are you upset? What's the motivate? What's the emotion right now after that?
Oh,
I wouldn't say I'm happy. Obviously, wrecking out of any race doesn't make me happy, but the fact that only like 23 people showed up means I get points for 23rd anyway. And once it's fixed, I'll probably go out here and see if anybody else quits out or dies and try to pick up a couple more. But if it was going to happen any week, I'm glad it was this one.
Yeah, speaking of that, it looks like your team owner is trying to help with that as he has just tapped the wall in John's old car. But yeah, Cam, you mentioned obviously with the brake fade and everything. Was that the first that you felt that in that spot?
It was the first I had felt it in the race. I'd been feeling it during practice of running laps today. It seemed like first couple of laps were real sketchy with the tires being cold, and then once they heated up, you could get a little bit more speed. And once you started carrying more speed into those corners, the brake fade kind of came in 2 or 3 laps later. So when I hit the tire barrier in turn 6, I believe that was like lap 6 of a run, and that one right there was probably lap 6 or 7 too. So it's like the same point in the run that the brakes just started doing funky things, and I wasn't able to react to it.
Now, another thing that Corey had kind of mentioned was that the car is also getting a little bit lighter as the race progresses. You're burning up fuel, and you can go about 36 laps on fuel, give or take. Did you feel the weight difference in the car at all as the run went on?
To be honest with you, Andre, I don't think I've turned enough laps to really notice the difference in weight in the rear. The practicing for the race today, I would go out, run a couple of laps, and then that would happen. So then I'd try to make an adjustment, go back and do it again, and it just kept happening over and over and over. I think I made one fuel run that I actually kind of felt that, but it didn't seem that was causing any issue. If anything, it actually made the car a little bit faster, a little bit more stable too.
So your team owner having a very close call there for a moment with Jedi, nobody calls him Jedi, Jason Taylor. A little bit of lockup out of both those drivers. I know Kevin wasn't really looking forward to this race either, but if there's any takeaway, if you can leave the fans with one thing about the Chicago Street Course, one closing note, what would that be?
Don't get yourself banned.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about it. I think in real life, I really do think that this can be a good race. Probably not in this car because I've been pretty outspoken in saying that the next gen car is garbage, but in a real race car, this track could actually be really good.
Yep, it definitely could be. We'll have to wait and see for tomorrow, presuming the weather permits it. But Cam, thanks for your time. If you're going to stick around, we may talk to you again a little bit later if you get that thing fixed up back out on the track, or maybe if even if you don't, we'll pull you back in. But there's a lot going on right now. Benefield hitting the wall. We will talk to you in a bit, Cam.
All right, buddy.
So Benefield, he's made a few mistakes. We just saw him on camera getting into the wall a little bit. And the thing is, again, iRacing's got that accumulative damage. The more you hit the wall, the more that damage is going to increase. It adds up over time, which is not how it was a couple years ago. A couple years ago, you could hit the wall. If you hit it the same way 10 times, it wouldn't add up. It was just the same hit. But now it does. So you got to be careful of that. And it doesn't really surprise me that he's still racing around Blake Giglio, who also has probably a fair bit of damage. The other thing that I'm really thinking about here is it has been almost 20 laps. It's been about 17 laps since our last caution for the random incident count. We don't know where the next one is. Nobody does. It's a completely random number. But with all of the incidents that we've seen, which is far more than what we saw at Sonoma, far more than what we've seen at any other road course we've done this year, I have to imagine it's not going to take long to reach whatever arbitrary digit the system came up with.
Not at this rate, no. And we're already seeing a lot of guys start to pit for damage. If I had to guess, we're probably right on that border of the next lap, and we're only on 25. These guys are just not having a good time. You can kind of see with the way the cars are driving. Obviously, we know Kevin behind the wheel, behind his teammate Jason. He was probably not very thrilled on his team radio. Maybe something worth getting a reaction later on in the race from Cam about how the team interaction is. But yeah, no, I don't think it's long, Corey, before we see another caution.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate again, and I'm going to say that I don't think we're going to see one for quite some time, because a lot of the little wall taps that we are seeing are just 0x, and unless that does count towards the trigger, these little just taps here, that taps there, they're not going to amount to anything from an incident numerical perspective. So unless we have car contacts, spin outs, obviously there's no off tracks here. It's going to take a lot more physical wrecking car-to-car contact to start raising that incident level.
I would say that some of these hits are definitely 0x, but a few of them...
Oh yeah, for sure there's been a few.
There's been a few wall-ups that I'm sure were 2x. Wall-ups, so we'll have to definitely wait and find out exactly what number we were assigned if the caution does come out.
And I did cue the duck. I did do a little bit of research. I did go on to les forums, and there is a lot of back and forth talk when it comes to full course cautions on road courses, that it is possible to have a wreck queued caution. It's super inconsistent. Nobody knows if it's track based or if it's overall based, but apparently it has happened. But in iRacing manner that Ohio too. So 2 actual upside down flipping through sand endeavors here at Mid-Ohio. A little interesting racing tidbits for those who had enough tweets to be able to scroll down far enough to see it.
Yep, haven't checked Twitter in 6 hours. Thanks, Elon. Much appreciated. Something else to take a look into is RJ Root does seem to have appeared to have parked his car and is out of the race as DeMars has moved up into that 20th position, 4 laps down.
Good English sentence. Sentences English there, Cody.
Huh?
Exactly.
But who was phone?
What?
But anyways,
I'm lost.
this battle on track right here, the number 12, Hodgson and Anderson. Hodgson, tell you what, he must have like a yardstick on the back of that car, just measuring out exactly how wide he needs to be, because he's been on defense all night long, and it seems like he's the kidney stone of the race. Usually we give that award to Cam, but he is not letting anybody pass. You know, he is out here making that thing wide.
Does that also mean that nobody wants him either?
Look, I didn't say it. You said it.
No, we do know he has his chat compadre, who's usually here. Is nearly some back contact there from Anderson there through the Xfinity hotspot, as Cody has so eloquently deemed.
The only thing eloquent I have ever said in my life, Corey.
Not wrong, at least in the year or so that I've known you.
Wait, for the McDonald's, instead of the McDonald's thing, it could be the McDonald's drive-through. Boom.
I would like to point out there is a Dunkin' Donuts here somewhere modeled on the facility, and I just saw on the good old social media that Pumpkin is coming back August 16th. So we're barely starting summer, and fall is already amongst us here. So just to get things that are aggravated discussed here, but still on screen there, 41 of Jedi Jason Taylor. Now we're back to the battle with Hodgson and Anderson there, exiting, I believe it to be turn 4 down the back straightaway.
I just want to say, I could not disagree with you more, Corey. I say bring on fall time. I despise the summer, and I know that's an unpopular opinion. I don't like heat, you know? I like cooler temps. I like people staying at home because they're afraid of the cold. And, you know, you can go out and you can go for a walk and nobody's around because they're just, you know, staying huddled up inside. It's great. Anyways, this battle, Hodgson and Anderson, it has not gone anywhere. Again, kidney stone of the race. That 12 car is not letting anybody get around him. Although the number 5 is going to try to look to the outside going into the next set of turns, the Xfinity hotspot, but he's not going to quite be able to get there. He's going to get a good run out towards Jiggly City. What can he do?
Yeah, it just does not look like Nolan wants anybody to pass him as we are about to go into the McDonald's drive-thru here. He wants his McChicken.
So is this the second window? Because there's like 2 McDonald's areas.
Oh,
So that must be the second window.
Anderson drives it in deep. He said, no more of this. Now let's see. Was the 12 really holding him up that much? Can he drive away?
I would hope so, because that 12 will be a little bit angry if not.
He got his McChickens and he bursted through that drive-thru.
He knew that the Grimace Shake was limited time only. He had to get there, and he had to get there fast, so he moved that 12 out of the way, and now he is pulling away. It seems like about 3 car lengths in just the last few corners alone. So the 12 was definitely holding him up a little bit, but again, it's so difficult to pass here. And, that was for 13th place. You think, why was Hodgson driving that way for 13th? Because that's a good points day. 13th, when we normally have a full 40-car field, is definitely solid for the driver and the team. You don't want to give those points up. So Hodgson doing what he's got to do. Now the next car behind Hodgson is going to be Kevin Steele, who is the last car on the lead lap. He is actually not far from going a lap down himself. And those two coming together slowly, as I believe Steele is reeling Hodgson in. But a lot of drivers maybe not having the best day. Blake Giglio is going to call it a day. I just seen that car disappear out of pit road. So he's going to head back to his kicky punchy sports. And this right here, a little bit of traffic. Alexander Van de Sant trying to navigate a gaggle of cars with Pearson on his tail.
That is track position there, Pearson and Van de Sant. That would be for the second position. I think that's the closest battle on track right now is Trevor Ryan, 18 car off in a runoff area. We can get that queued up here in a little bit.
So Trevor Ryan was running inside the top 10 earlier in the night. That is going to be a disastrous incident for him. Take a look at the
he crashed into the pylon of the first window, as we will soon see. I think. Maybe.
I think the Xfinity hotspot might be interfering with our replays. We do apologize.
Now it's back to Xfinity's back to reality.
Yes, and so we can see Andrew Dyson does have about a 10-second lead on the rest of the field as he has lapped up into the top 15 here.
Kevin Steele will be next on the chopping block. He is about 2 seconds. You can see right there, right in the shot there. Well, he's only about 2 seconds behind, but we do have Van de Sant on screen right now as he is leading that charge. Between him and Pearson, does have Jedi in the middle. He will pull to the side and allow that battle to continue uninterrupted.
And we do have a replay for something. We'll take a look and see exactly what happened. Is this the Trevor Ryan incident? It's another incident.
Oh, it's part 2. I didn't catch this one.
Oh, back into the wall.
Worse.
That may be a concussion with this next-gen car. That is not a safer barrier. That's just concrete.
Jersey barrier. 10,000-pound Jersey barrier is an estimate we once told. So
Jersey? I thought we were in Chicago.
Oh,
okay, I'm gonna just leave the broadcast now because that was probably the worst thing I've ever done.
About the only good thing to ever come out of New Jersey.
Is there a mic in here? Because I could use a sub. Actually, I'm pretty hungry. I didn't eat, so. But there is no mic in here, so bollocks to that. So lap number 32. So we are just at about the 1/3 distance of tonight's Chicago Street Course 200. I think there is a name, the Grant Park something or another, or tight confines too. I don't even think we had a clever name for this one, but either way, Andrew Dyson in his road course ringing fashion. Looking pretty here, but even for a ringer like Andrew Dyson, who's mopping the floor, this isn't a Watkins Glen, this isn't a Sonoma, maybe even an Indy Road or Rip Road America, where you can just kind of cruise. You are on full alert focus every single lap here, and as we know, it just takes one little slip of the brain, puts you in the fence, breaks a toe link, and that 13-second lead is gone.
Yeah, we've seen that in the past. Jonathan Delaney at the Roval. It was possibly one of the biggest instances of the commentator's curse I've ever seen. He had a massive lead, fastest car in the race, and I had just said something along the lines of, you know, this is a new John. This is a John that doesn't make crazy mistakes. He doesn't overdrive. He's a lot more patient. And as I was speaking those words, he overdrove the corner, smacked the concrete barrier on exit, broke his toe link, and DNF. So these cars, they can be a little bit fragile at times, and here in NASCAR and really in the wider world of motorsport, nothing's a given. You know, you could have a whole lap lead on somebody, but if something crazy happens, you may not wind up walking away with that checkered flag. So Dyson doing really good right now, but there's a lot of racing left to do. We're at about the 1/3 mark, give or take, about 33 out of 100. So inching closer to stage 2 at lap 45. And I honestly have not seen a gap like this at a road course in a very long time.
Yeah,
and time I saw anything like this, Cody, was probably
Van
about 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, some of these gaps, 2 years ago, that gap at Watkins Glen got crazy. But green flag pit stops have started with Alex Van de Sant being the first driver down pit road, whose stop did take about 30 seconds. Don't know if there was a penalty or if he was getting damage fixed, but he comes back out into 9th place.
I will do a little bit of recon.
So as he does that, we're going to keep an eye on the competition. Again, I don't think undercut versus overcut is really going to give us a lot of importance. I don't think the strategy as to when you come down pit road is going to be very important, with the only exception being the factor of fuel mileage, should we get a late race caution or something happens to turn this into a fuel mileage race.
Okay, I just ran back. I didn't see the jack go up on that car at all, so from a novice perspective, it did look like 30 seconds of damage repair and presumably some fuel. I did not see the tires go up at all.
Now, how long would a speeding penalty have been if he had sped on entry?
40 seconds.
Okay, so he definitely didn't get a penalty then.
He did when I did see out of the corner of my eye, see him go to pit road, and he did peel off at the last second, so maybe it was a commitment cone. That's the only thing I can think of, because I know sometimes if it is a commitment cone violation, it is 30 seconds. So that could have been it as well, but that doesn't explain the fuel too. As Patrick Gitter,
he definitely was just getting some damage fixed up, because that car was pretty beat up, and we did see that on our onboard. What were you saying there, Cody?
Patrick Gitter and Sean O'Brien are the next 2 cars down pit road, so we are in the midst of some green flag pit stops. And Andrew Dyson still out front with a 13-second lead, and let's try not to jinx it this week what Robert was going for last week.
Yeah, don't want to try to give him the commentators first.
Here comes Dyson at pit road, our race leader, lap 34.
So he'll be pitting 10 laps before the stage, and I do want to take the opportunity to remind the viewers at home, it is rolling stages at the road course, just like it is going to be in real life. So there will be no stage caution that'll be obligatorily thrown. It'll just be green flag all the way, and points will be assigned as normal. Dyson comes out there, and look at that. Trevor Ryan with the late commitment. He was Tokyo drifting into that pit road, but I think he made it, and I don't think he sped, and I don't think he missed the commitment cone, so a little bit unorthodox, but made it nonetheless.
Yeah, and it does look like Neil Pearson has assumed the lead. I don't believe he led that last lap yet. So he will lead this next lap coming up if he does go past the line. I think that is what I'm trying to say. And Andre, again, take it over, because I have no idea what I'm saying, or Corey.
Can confirm did not lead a lap as of this juncture in the race, and I'm not even sure if it provides a point, other than it just being it's just a feel-good statement to do that. So we'll see if indeed he does. His teammate already in the pit, so that'll be a clean opening there, as second place has already come down as well. So looks as though that Pearson is only 21 seconds ahead of his teammate, who's already made a pit stop, if that's any inclination to how big of a lead Dyson had accumulated.
So everything's sort of cycling out. Pearson in the pits, I believe, right now, and Dyson should be able to get out and reassume his lead. There goes Pearson, and he is going to get that car serviced. Dyson only 23 seconds back. It'll be bare minimum, I believe, 30 seconds total time in and out, maybe a little bit more. So
Give or
he'll
take
absolutely pass
40.
him. 40. Okay. So he'll definitely get back to him, get to the lead. Hoffman's still staying out. Hoffman, Marty, these drivers have yet to pit. They've gained a little bit of track position as such, but they will have to come down soon because, as our sources say, anywhere between 35 to 36 laps comfortably on fuel. Anything further, you're going to be stretching it. And road courses, they're not the place to risk fuel mileage. You know, you go to 1.5 miles for a short track, maybe you can coast that bad boy back to pit road. If you're in the Xfinity hotspot, shout out Cody, and you run out of fuel, you're not making it back. So you don't want to play it too hot and loose with the fuel mileage.
Yeah, no, with fuel mileage anywhere, of course, we've often referred to the Cody Bird strategy, staying out long. Here, that is not an option.
Loose and long. Those are the three things I've just heard in the past 30 seconds.
Yes, hot, loose, and long. But you don't want to stay out too long here, just with trying to get it back. It will require a tow. And with no idea of when cautions are going to come out, it's just not worth the risk.
So Top Gear 3x TV multicam, that is Adam Benefiel leading Trevor Ryan. Now we're looking at Alexander Van de Sant, who has a hard-charging Matt DiCiani behind him. Bottom of the 3x TV multicam, well, I believe that is going to be Pearson, who is P2 at the moment. He is 6, or no, is that an 8? Yes, very low res image I'm looking at here. 8.5 seconds back from our leader. So I think he actually gained a little bit through that pit cycle somehow or another, because he was about 9.5, 10 seconds back when that all started. So little gains. But I tell you what, somebody lit a fire under that number 4, because he is showing some good pace compared to Van de Sant. Here's another battle. We've got SOB and his team owner, Kevin Steele, trying to rock their way down this long straightaway. And Kevin's experience with his teammates hasn't been so good yet today, so hopefully that starts to turn around. We got an incident in front of him. Big smoke screen.
29, I believe. That's Tanner Marty.
Yes, sir. Tanner Marty with a bit of a mistake. Now, that actually opens the door for SOB to get to the bottom of Kevin Steele, and he's going to take it.
So I do want to go off topic here with a little addendum that I may or may not have just inclinated here. There is a penalty in this league for not having the correct car number as your in-sim number. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
I have just refreshed the good old trading paints here. Andrew Dyson is registering in a number 41 automobile, and he's 04 in sim. I don't know, Carlos, if you can verify that or if my stuff is broken here. So
he's at the 41.
The perfect race will be marred by a paint scheme penalty.
It's not just a penalty. I'm fairly certain you do not get scored, period.
Gasp! Drama!
Yeah, this
isn't even TNT.
Now, okay, here's the question, boys. How fast can you put it down pit road?
Oh boy.
Open up trading paints, change that paint scheme, and get that thing back out on track.
Is there any chance that one of them has the broadcast up right now and he's like, oh crap?
Yeah. That is.
So this literally is a royal. If that is the thing where it's basically a DQ, it's a hey, you didn't show up. This race is a.
That's fine. I'm on game. I got about 10 more minutes of damage to fix here before I can get back out. So.
Yeah, we've potentially uncovered a new source of humongous drama with our leader right now. So we are getting top dog calls on that, but you can see Dyson up by 7 seconds over Pearson. Van de Sant there. So what do you expect in Cam when that car comes back out? Obviously, as of right now, it's still a modified. Maybe they'll be able to duct tape something back on for you here in the last few minutes, and it might drive kind of okay. Because I think you could probably pick off if you can run 5 more laps. I think you got one more spot on the table.
Yeah, I think if I run 10 laps, I can get 2 positions and be in the top 20. Right now, we're actually not too worried about the body damage. I think actually, if we just run the modified, the air hitting the front tires will keep them cooler, so we can be a little more aggressive. Really what we've been doing for the last 20 minutes is putting a new engine in it, because when we hit the wall, it just destroyed it. So we're doing an engine change mid-race.
So you had your team walk a quarter of a mile all the way from the hauler to the pit road to put an engine in a car that's going to be 20 laps down. That's
no, we actually had the engine on standby because I figured that's what happened.
Oh, all right. So you made them lug that engine all the way a quarter mile in pre-race. So
Exactly.
that's that preparation. That's that championship preparation right there.
So I do have an update on Andrew Dyson. Damaris said that the rule is first time warning, second time no score. Now, as far as we're aware, I don't think Dyson's had the wrong paint scheme yet this year, so he may be saved, and he probably will be scored, as this is going to be his first infraction.
Well, according to former admin Kevin Steele, this is his second infraction.
Oh, no.
Oh,
We were talking about this before the race. I heard you guys mention it.
Okay, here we
So
go.
the way that this would work basically is that the driver that finishes second, if Dyson were to win, still only gets the 35 points and does not get credit for a win, but Dyson would not get the points from this finish.
So is it still a win in the record book, or does this race not exist from a winner's perspective?
That I'm not sure of, because as is well publicized, I don't know anything about winning. So not sure if this goes down as an asterisk win or if it's just one of those vacated wins like NASCAR had back in the 70s.
It's a cucumbered win.
He would not get the playoff lock-in. No, anything that has to do with our points format would not be attributed to this.
Andre
but he
said,
already won a race. He already won.
Andre said, if he pulls in the pits, loads into trading paints, sacrifices about 15 seconds, loads in, hauls ass, gets the lead back. You know,
I mean, he's fast
as
enough.
far as I'm aware, you can't actually. You have to withdraw from the session completely and then re-register. So that would be probably 2 laps of time.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I want to point out, Pearson's gaining on Dyson. He was 9 seconds back, and I can't tell if that's a 4 or a 6. Again, it's very low
1.2
res.
faster last time by.
But he's flying right now, so I don't know if Dyson made a mistake or if Pearson has just been holding back this whole time. But that's something to keep an eye on.
Another second that last time by, and I will say he is not flying. He is well grounded onto the asphalt, but he is traveling at a very high rate of speed.
Yeah, I'm just seeing now that Dyson ran a 128, and then he followed that one up with another 128. So he's running lap times that, I would be expecting from somebody like Sean O'Brien, not from him. He might be listening to the broadcast and furiously reading the rule book as we speak.
He's got the wheel in one hand, the rule book in the other. He's trying to figure out, oh no, what do I do?
Yeah, and something else to take into consideration.
SOB having some issues. Replay on screen. Dented the can of Pepsi. Oh, I think that can's leaking right now.
Yeah, Apex is not having a great day. Obviously. Yep, Sean broke the toe link. Yep. Jason S. Taylor was on pit road as well. And Cameron Stone is out working on getting his car repaired. So 3 of the bottom 5 drivers are Apex drivers, with Kevin Steele, who has been the biggest component of hating road courses this year, currently in the 11th position, holding it down for Apex Racing. Obviously, Cam working with some new teammates this year in Sean and Jason. How has that affected you? Obviously, working in the past with guys like Bryson.
What he's asking is, are they too nice? Do they not make you angry enough that you can drive well?
Yeah.
Well, it seems that the 2 of them just bounce off of each other, right? So when Jason says inflammatory things, they're generally aimed at Sean, and when Sean says inflammatory things, they're aimed at Jason. So it's honestly, I kind of envisioned that this would happen, right? When I joined Apex this year, the original cast was Jason and Sean, the Black Flag guys, and me and Bryson, the high side guys. So I was kind of envisioning the 2 cars within a 4-car team dynamic. And then we all know what happened with Bryson, and then I ended up with John, and me and John don't like each other. So I'm just kind of on an island and listening to the shit show that is Black Flag Motorsports every week. Speaking of how we're doing this week, I mean, yes, it is a bad race. I just destroyed my car. Jason's slow as shit, and Sean just broke a toe link. But Kevin's out here who just decided, I'm just gonna go run as many laps and get points, which is what he's always done, and it works for him. He's almost in the top 10. He'll probably be in the top 10 when it's over with. But the one thing that you do have to pay attention to is that we're racing for a team championship, and the team that is second in points to us right now only had 2 drivers show up. So really, no matter how bad we do today, we're going to add to
battle
the
for the
lead.
lead is forming. Gap is within a second, guys.
Yeah, Pearson is consistently faster, and my question is why? Because Dyson has been the fastest car all night long up to this point. We don't have a guaranteed cockpit, so it's not like Dyson's just taking it easy trying to get to the end of the stage. This is odd. I almost got to wonder if there's not some sort of damage under the hood that we can't see. Maybe he got into the wall when we weren't looking. But for whatever reason, Pearson is on the move. He has been consistently quicker. And the question is, can he actually make the pass? Because, yes, he reeled him in from 8 seconds back. But as we saw with Nolan Hodgson earlier, it doesn't matter how much slower somebody is. If they're really good at defense at a track like this, it's really difficult to pass.
Idea, thought. He knows if he wins this race, it's not going to count. So what if he just subtly gives it away, gets Pearson in the playoff, and then that if there's no point in him winning the race, it's not going to count. So
A little bit of awe, a little nod to the fellow Aussie.
Yeah, and they are teammates, and Neil Pearson is only 7 points out of the playoff picture.
Yeah, so
he's
not
intentionally
Collusion!
This is some silver bullet racing type strategy.
No. Don't you even throw that on us. You know, after I watched the LMM guys drafting each other to save Lucas Gas last week.
The wall, there's an itch.
They never actually touched.
Yeah, they did.
SOB in the wall right in front of the
SOB, I don't even know how he's still on the track after breaking that toe link, but
Fix it?
honestly, I think he's on the runoff. He is given a gentle kiss to that safety truck. We'll take a look at the 100% replay here. Again, broken car, way off pace, trying to let the leaders go.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
boy. It's flatter than Taco Bell soda after 3 hours. It's just nothing left in it.
So according to Sean, he went down pit road and fixed as required, and his toe link is still broken.
Well, I mean, is the toe link really required?
Right in front of the leader.
Whoa! Mason Taylor.
The apex collusion knows no bounds.
Yeah, he definitely.
Is that contact? We have to get a front end.
Oh yeah, he got punted. It was 41 car on 41 car drama.
There can only be one.
Get an onboard or a rear deck lid there of somebody there to replay. I think we got it queued. Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Goodness.
Dyson just runs in the back of him.
I mean,
well, that'll show you the speed difference, right, in these hard braking zones of the guys that are running 125s and the guys that are running 130s. I'm sure Dyson didn't want to run through the back of Jason Taylor. He's just that much faster.
Yeah, you have the alien brake zones, which is the Aussies, and then you have the normal person brake zone, and then you have the back marker brake zones, and they just don't coagulate well together.
Yeah, Jason was just having a party in the USA.
I mean, it is the right weekend for that.
It is indeed. But, I really do. I think Cam hit the nail on the head that perhaps Dyson is thinking, oh, well, if this doesn't count, maybe we can get him into the playoffs.
Hey, I said that. Do not give him credit.
You both said it.
I want the credit for my good ideas. Cody,
well, now that I know that that's the strategy, I'm glad that my car is getting fixed so I can go out there and not affect this race in any way.
Absolutely.
Or are they both knowing that this broadcast is slightly blah, so they're coagulating to make this exciting for us and give us something to talk about?
I mean, there is only 10 cars on the lead lap. So that very well could be the case as we're going to finish up stage 2 here.
I mean, I've had plenty of races in my time where I'm just genuinely bored. So, I would slow up, let people. I did this at MLB 2004. I was up by 15 runs in an online match. I let the guy get 2 grand slams, and then I just won by 2 runs because it was more fun. I don't think that's happening, but, mentally, it is more fun to have a tight competition.
Dyson does cross the line, and he does win stage 2, so he at least sweeps the stages. Pearson, P2, Van de Sant, DiCiani, Hoytsma, Gitter, Hoffman, Benefield, Schofield, and Tanner Marty. Drivers who are going to get stage points, put an asterisk on the points for Andrew Dyson. Also, Kim, I didn't even know you're in the booth still. You're on the track. I just see the
hop back
missing
in there.
front end.
He needs
That-
7 laps to get to the 20th spot.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You're gonna need a lot of cautions, but
No
And he is
air
coming-
issues there. No brake temp issues. No air temp issues.
I'm only showing the
Yeah,
top
those
20
brakes are nice
because
and cool.
there's less than 20 cars out on the track, so there's no point in scrolling.
Oh no!
Oh, more
oh,
contact.
Pearson.
Oh gosh, that's not a good thing.
Pearson goes
Oh!
around.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
more good things.
Damn.
So now
I'm
Cam-
affecting the race in no way.
and Cam Stone.
Pearson
Definitely
that was
not
completely on his own
affecting
accord
the
there.
race.
Replay on screen here, exiting the Geico funnel area into the.
He really
See,
did just
this
wheel
is-
hop
Too
him.
much beans.
This is a
Yeah.
bit of an experiment, right? So now let's see how long it takes Neil to catch Andrew again.
Yeah, let's see if he can get back up to him or what exactly happens there. I do want to go ahead and raise a question to the chat. We did this in one of our other 4th of July races. I think it was back when 4th of July race was still at Daytona. But we asked the viewers a few years back, hot dogs or hamburgers at your cookout this 4th of July? Let us know. Team hot dog, team hamburger, or team both.
No.
No.
I'm
no.
team. I'm
no.
team. both.
Hold up.
Carlos, you might as well just turn your mic on for this.
My
whole
mic is
race,
on. My mic is on. Hold up. Chicago style deep dish or Detroit deep dish?
How about thin crust?
Ew,
Ooh, that's
Get out of
good.
here.
ew. What are you, a
How about
vegan?
bar pizza.
What?
That's what we have here in New England.
Derek Heitman in chat says team brat. Are we going to count that as a hot dog?
That's a
Yeah, it's a
sausage.
hot
No,
dog.
it's different.
Yeah, I mean, it's different.
It's in the
Is
same
a sausage
category.
A hot dog?
It's not white trash enough to be a hot dog.
What is
Yeah,
the
well-
difference between a sausage and a hot dog? First of all?
I feel like
This is like soup and stew.
hot
the
dog is
type
a
of
very
meat.
loosely defined.
Replay.
Well, no, 'cause hot dogs, I don't know. We do have a replay. Let's see exactly what happened.
Trevor
here.
Ryan.
That's going to be Trevor Ryan again.
Well, for
he
the
has
hat
been
trick,
the
Oh!
subject of a
calamity.
few replays.
And Nolan
oh,
Well,
Hodgson.
Hodgson had some issues there too.
Hodgson and Trevor Ryan
No,
not
it's
having a good time.
Hodgson.
No, it's Hodgson.
No, it's Hodgson. I'm saying it Cody's way.
Ah, yes,
Oh.
yes, yes.
Well, you know what, Corey? I'm sorry I can't speak English, or Spanish, or French, or any language.
Okay, so I raise a new question to chat.
It's a hot dog and a sausage. I'm gonna look that up now.
My
I'm gonna pop-
question is, would you
I'm gonna pop
consider
a
a
bing.
brat a hot dog? To the chat. Don't even worry about what Papa Nagood says.
I'm gonna bong a bing right now and figure this out. That's what I
You gonna
What?
pop a goop?
I'm gonna pop a goog. He's gonna bong a bing.
Well, and also, I think
I think I'm in the wrong line of work. I should just retire from driving and come up here. This
I mean,
is
we
way
gotta-
more fun.
Yeah, we already have. Like, we can do a radio broadcast together. We could. But you guys already seen it.
Well, that
Yeah.
would be nice for the Glen, maybe.
Also, Kevin Steele has completed the quadruple issue for the Apex team, as he is on pit road and has been on pit road for quite some time. So,
Oh, I
yeah,
have it right
you're-
here.
Okay.
Oh, here's the replay.
And then I do have an answer to my question as well.
Kevin Steele rocketing through the McDonald's
Is this the
drive-through.
first? I think that's the first
Ooh.
window.
Oh,
75% of the audience is saying yes.
All right. So
Hard.
so a hot dog is a type of sausage.
60%
but not
of the
all
audience.
sausages are hot dogs.
So all hot dogs are sausages, but not all sausages are hot dogs.
Correct.
this
Interesting.
is kind of too complicated for me. I don't. But is a hot dog a sandwich?
If you can't handle the wiener, stay out of the kitchen.
Whoa, whoa! Look, I said that once and I got put on a list. You gotta calm down, Carlos.
Also, it does look like Neil Pearson has caught up to Andrew Dyson again. Battle for the lead is under 1 second once again.
Yeah, he is closing it, not as quickly as before. It's about a tenth a lap that Neil Pearson is closing in.
Cue up that little fancy lap.
So
time
he
graphic.
is gonna rocket through that sequence of right-handers down the straightaway, and there's the difference right there. 3 out of the last 5 laps Pearson gained, and Van de Samp actually
He's
4 out of
close.
the last 5 laps. He's moving.
Illusion.
Also to the audience, our poll is currently at 50-50 with 6 votes, so 3 versus 3. I'm gonna need somebody else to vote just for the sake of breaking up the 50-50. We need a definitive answer on this. But it looks like a little bit of time loss there for Pearson heading through Jiggly City, not able to quite get the throttle down as quickly as Dyson was able to. That cost him a bit, but coming up over the bridge, the 62 gets really good exits out of these 90-degree corners, which is luckily for him because that's about 95% of the track. And he is going to close in a little bit more here on exit. We do have 7 votes now, so the majority is saying that no, a brat is not a hot dog. And that is, as Corey said, technically correct, I suppose. But man, I would still consider it in the hot dog family.
But to the original question of hot dogs or burgers, I'll say burger because I have to have a cheeseburger. I cannot just have a cheeseless burger.
Yeah, if it doesn't have cheese on it, it's no good.
But I can't pick. I have to have one of each. I have to have a burger, a hot dog, and then some kind of salad, a potato salad, a macaroni salad, something. That's my July 4th. And then, of course, having an alcoholic beverage of choice, which varies depending on my mood.
Well, we know Cam's preference. He's got them ice cold Sterlings. Tends to be my preference as well.
There is a rebate now. If you buy Bud Light, they will give you a $15 rebate for up to 4 purchases of Bud Light.
Yeah, that's not even enough.
I'm not touching that.
Not enough. They literally can't pay me to drink it.
But yeah, so the battle is getting interesting, and DeMar is the last car, not last car on the lead lap. He is now 5 laps down. But yes, no, the field is getting a lot more not on the lead lap. I just can't talk tonight. I am struggling. Okay, most of my life I have struggled, and I just do not know what is happening.
It's okay, we love you, Cody.
How many gummies you may have eaten before this broadcast?
I ran out 2 weeks ago.
That's your problem.
I think it is.
That could be your problem now. A little bit of a wall
street.
Pearson getting into the wall, that cost him a ton of time. And as BD's casting couch in the chat said,
whoa!
That is his YouTube username. He said Dyson is probably fuel saving now. From his previous chats, I'm assuming he's in contact with Dyson, so I would assume his take on that was probably pretty accurate. I don't know why exactly Dyson would be saving. Maybe trying to make it on just one more stop, if that's even remotely possible, or just cut one stop out somewhere in the run. I don't know, but that could be the case because now the speed is kind of reversed. Pearson not gaining like he was. He was 1 second back, then 2. Then after he hit the wall, it was almost 3. So definitely starting to slip down the scoring pylon ever so slightly as he runs through the McDonald's drive-thru.
So the last time by for Dyson, he was only 6/100ths of a second off his best lap in the race. So obviously there's no pace or damage issues for Dyson. So that fully explains why Pearson was gaining, but our old point still is very valid with the fact that if Dyson wins based on everything we're interpreting, it's going to mean nothing other than pride. And good old Neil back there could use it. So that situation still is on the table here, but at the end of the day, we'd see a lot of drivers do the 24-hour races by themselves, knowing they're going to get disqualified, knowing that it doesn't count after that, but you still want the win, pride or not. You still want your name on the top of the result sheet, even if it's not going to mean anything.
Yeah, you definitely want to go for that win because it may still count as a win in the history books at the very minimum. You may not get the points for it, but when you look at the 100% stat sheet, it may show up as a win again. Not 100% sure how that works. We'll have to maybe talk to Damaris later after he's settled it out. But as our producer's pointing out, the splits here between the drivers, Dyson just starting to pull away every single lap now, further and further. Van de Sant as well, no longer able to really gain. So things turning around. Dyson just turning on the afterburners, and that was a huge bounce out of Pearson. That may have been some wheel hop there, as everybody seems to be getting a little bit unsettled through that corner, but he was two-wheeling it, which is a little bit more than what we normally see. There's Matt DiCiani, the number 4. He is trying to navigate Anderson, who's a lap down. As they cross the line this time, what's it going to be? What are the lap time differentials? Pearson loses, and Van de Sant, whenever he crosses the line, also falls a little bit further back. So the afterburners have been turned on. Dyson's got his earth harness firmly secured. He's going nowhere. He's headed out front.
Yeah, this is very impressive lap times here. Probably about 25 seconds faster than what I would run. I think Cam could confirm that. But
About 25, maybe 15.
okay, so you see, you're giving me more credit, just like we're still teammates back in the day. But yeah, no, the field is definitely chasing after Andrew Dyson on the pylon.
And guys, just as a note, after all we've done, after all we've seen, after all the wreckage and carnage and frustrations that drivers have exerted thus far, we are only just past halfway.
Yeah, this race has definitely taken a little bit longer than I would have expected. 53 out of 100. It's about 10 o'clock. We started this race about 8:30, as we tend to do. So it's been an hour and a half, and that'll make this race a pretty much even 3 hours, which it's going to be getting us pretty close to the dark time. Corey, you mentioned it earlier. We may not get into the dark, but the sun will begin to set. The shadows will take over, and the track's going to be a little bit harder to see. The visibility may become an issue. Street lights won't turn on, according to Bob Pockris. So
Post-apocalyptic Chicago.
that's just Chicago.
Not touching that again.
Again?
I don't want to get canceled like Greg
all
Griffin.
drivers have their bulletproof vests and fully armored security guards.
Oh, God.
The trailers, right? You know,
Yeah, I know.
get all of it out. Let's get all of it out there.
Well, guys, it's been nice broadcasting with you, but it sounds like next week we all may be getting a off week, a double secret probation suspension.
Yeah, you guys can come attend my sensitivity training course.
The part of all that Chicago talk that bothered me the most is I actually did look up the crime rates of like the rest of the country. You know, Daytona is right up there with St. Louis as the most crime-ridden. Like the percentages for Chicago to Daytona doubles it in both like physical crime and like what's the other, like property crime or something like that. So everyone who says Chicago is an unsafe place, well, no one has ever said anything about Daytona, but I'd be worried more about that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the crime rates aren't that drastic compared to any other big city. Anytime you go to a big city, obviously it's going to be elevated just because of the sheer number of people. But I mean, it's not like they're hosting a race in Gary, Indiana. That would be concerning to me. But you know, there's no issues.
As would a race in Ashtabula, Ohio.
Man.
There's just basic logic and basic common sense you have to do when you come to any city. Doesn't matter if it's Boston, New York, LA, Butte, Montana. Don't have a lot of cash in your pocket and don't have a lot of jewelry on you when you're walking down the streets. That's just common sense of any city. If you don't do that, you're probably going to be fine.
Hey guys, another issue to look at. Adam Benefield is currently on pit road.
You gave him the D. It's Benefield.
Yeah, I am sorry. You are not going to change my ways. I don't know if there was an incident that happened with him.
Just write a big D right on the screen when Benefield's car is there. Just Benefield.
Yep.
There you go.
And Robert currently says you suck, Cam, in chat. So,
well, he would be correct.
Okay.
We do have a replay. Let's see if we can identify. Is this the Benefield? Nope, this is not Benefield. This is gonna.
I don't appear to see anything showing up with Benefield.
The 47. Oh, that is a thing. That's
92. He's gonna nose it into the wall. So Clayton Hoffman takes a tow immediately from that.
We are down to 8 cars on the lead lap. Tanner Marty being the last one, only about 6 seconds, if not even that, from being lapped. So they're getting ticked off here, and as this race just snails its way by. But as you guys talked about, Dyson last time by a full second faster than Pearson. So definitely him driving off into the sunset here with that big asterisk on his race winning stats there. As Benefield, we're in replay mode trying to decipher something of which that happened to.
It was seemingly a planned stop. I don't see anything on this lap.
Hold on, something happened here.
Okay, so maybe something headed down into.
Right there, it looks like he just stopped.
Did he hit the inside wall and like throw the toe out or something?
Let's see.
I don't think he got the inside wall there, but I mean, we'll take a look at a different
He's
angle.
kind of driving as if he was struggling with the steering. That's all I can
Yeah,
infer.
because the left front's already damaged. No?
Oh, look at me. I was right. He hit the wall.
Did he, though?
Yeah,
I don't
he
think
did. There was
so.
a... Well, cue the duck. He's in the infield care center.
Yeah, bring him up. Bring him
We'll,
up.
we'll ask him what happened. Let's bring him up. Mr. Benefield, you got a copy?
Yeah, y'all keep rewinding. Keep rewinding.
Oh, okay,
Keep
okay.
rewinding. Okay.
To lap 1 when the car wasn't damaged.
Oh,
No, I'm saying that to everybody. Not just
No,
Oh,
hit play, hit play, hit play. You went too
Hit play.
far.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
like a lap behind right now.
We are going to identify.
I think
so
it's turn 3.
as we watch the replay here, Adam, put it in your own words. What exactly transpired?
So hit early in the race. I hit the wall with the right side pretty hard, and then Dustin came in on the box because he was late. He stayed out drinking all night here in Chicago. So made some adjustments and went back out there and I hit the left side, and the steering wheel was back straight. And we started hauling tail, so I thought it was good. And then dummy me, after the pit stop or after the second hit, I hit it again with the right side. And I asked Dustin going down that straightaway, I said, hey, do you think the left side can take one more hit so I can get the steering wheel back straight? And he said, that's what I was just looking at. So we just tried it. And
So hold on.
It could.
Something bent in your steering rack, and your solution
Was
was
to
to
hit
hit the other side.
That is the most Alabama Cup driver I've ever heard of in my life.
Redneck when...
I love that,
it.
Adam.
Oh my goodness.
dude, there for a while though, like we were flat out hauling tail. Like we went our fastest lap with 3.5 minutes of damage. I mean, for me, I was hauling tail, you know. I screwed up though when I hit it again on the right side, and I was hoping that it could hold up for one more time on the left side. And tail links were good, they just weren't that good.
Yeah, I mean, I admire the attempt. If that had worked, I mean, that's top 5 strategy maybe of all time. But unfortunately, toe link broke. Before we let you go, Adam, what are some of your thoughts here on the Chicago road course? What was your experience before that?
They can take the barriers down and just leave it exactly what it is, a street for pedestrians. There's no need for a
I concur.
freaking race car. This is the dumbest thing I ever been a part of. I hate it. I love road racing. Now, it's not because I don't like road courses. This is not what we should be on. I mean, if you can go back and watch, I mean, hell, you would just see Neil do it. Like when you're going through the, I don't know what these corners are called, but I heard Cody call it the McDonald's drive-through earlier. You're literally, like your right side, if you hit a bump, your right sides aren't even on the ground. Like, you're living on a prayer every single lap going around here. It's stupid.
So let me addendum that thought. So would a street circuit work for NASCAR, just not this one, or is the whole concept just throw it in the trash?
No, throw it in the trash. Why are we trying to be like V8 Supercar? We weren't built on that. We were built on ovals.
I
You know,
agree.
Design
It
the
also,
car.
it also
Give
really
me
frosts
Rockingham.
It really frosts me that they keep saying on the broadcast that this is the first ever NASCAR street course. No, the beach course went down an actual street in the 50s. It was a street course, but we'll just ignore that.
You're probably
I
saying the
suppose.
modern era.
Well, you and I have talked about this plenty, Andre, that NASCAR does not care about its history anymore.
No, they do not even remotely.
yeah. No, I mean, I said when they released these cars that it looked like they were trying to mimic a V8 supercar. It doesn't look anything like a stock car.
And
Just
here we
stupid.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of stuff we get. We got a stupid diffuser on the back of it. I'm in the same boat with Dale. Take the damn thing off of it and let's see what happens because it looks stupid. It's too touchy. I don't like it. And give us a freaking 800-900 horsepower.
More horsepower.
Yeah, I'm
Auto
good
drive.
with that. Like let's put the drivers, back into it, not arrow. But
I say we just bring back the Gen 4 car, back to the drawing board.
I'm good with that. I mean, I don't
Put the
care.
seat in
I
the center
can,
of the car.
Modern
can-
safety standards with a Gen 4. What the hell's wrong with that?
Nothing at all. I can beat Robert Miller in anything like that.
We have a replay on screen, as we do have a race broadcasting here in the background.
And we do have a replay. It's the 47 machine headed down into what has been one of the most troublesome turns that we've seen, and he's going to miss the softer tire barrier and opt to go right into the concrete wall there at the Xfinity hotspot. Anyways, Adam, we're going to let you get back to your team. I know Cam just had the experience of running down to the garage and trying to haul an engine back up for his car. Hopefully you don't have to go through all that, but maybe you can get that thing back out there, salvage some points.
Oh no, we parked it over there off Washington Avenue and let someone take it with them.
That's the point.
All right, so you're going to give a point to the competition, unfortunately. But Adam, we thank you for your time, and hopefully we'll be talking to you under better circumstances next week.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Hey, everybody, go check out Martin PC. You get you a Martin PC, you won't suck like Cam. Y'all have a good night.
All right, later.
Later.
All right, and another, while we're just kind of summarizing things, and another one gone, and another one gone. Clayton Hoffman just bit the dust, taking it behind the wall in the number 92.
These guys keep dropping out. I'm going to keep getting these here points.
Yeah, Clayton, he hit right on the nose. I'd have to imagine that was some terminal engine.
Who's that in the fence there? Some red, white, and blue cars. About 3 of them out there.
Damar's second bottom, who's just trying to get out of everybody's way through the McDonald's drive-thru.
Yeah, Damaris was having a bad time. We noticed when we were talking to Adam, he did get into one of the outside walls about a lap ago as well. So the 00, not quite hauling the mail, but, got to admire the effort. He's still out here, P15. 6 laps down. Kevin Steele is 5 laps down after his incident currently. The Drumhammer, he's 2 laps down. Princeton is 2 laps down. Nolan Hodgson, Trevor Ryan, Bobby Anderson, Tanner Marty. Those are the drivers 1 lap down. Then we got 7 on the lead lap. Dyson, Pearson, Van de Sant, DiCiani, Hoytsma, Gitter, Schofield, and they are the ones that are currently on the lead lap. But Schofield he's falling to the leader. He's only got about 5 seconds before he goes a lap down. So a lot of separation, a lot of attrition, which I know that I think we all kind of predicted there was going to be a lot of issues in this race and that the majority of the drivers who started weren't going to finish it. So, hey, shout out to Cam here in the booth for finishing the race. Even though
I just ran my fastest lap of the race.
Well, there you go. See?
Yeah,
all these drivers taking it behind the wall.
That's only a second off the second and a half off the lead, in all honesty. So
I'm running his fuel saving pace.
should have took the front end off of that thing a while ago.
This is just reinforcing my theory that Cam is best when he's around me. He won his championship when I was his teammate, and now he is running his fastest lap of the race when he's in the booth with me. So Cody Bird Cody Bird to Cameron Stone's pit box in 2024.
I'll try anything at this point.
Oh, we owed. Why did we owe?
Leader having a little bit of a scuffle with the lap traffic. He struggled to put Schofield lap down. A little bit of contact there, but he gathers it up. Now he's going to have his sights set on Bobby Anderson, trying to put the 5-car lap down if he can, but it'll be a few turns before he gets to him as they rocket through the Xfinity hot spot. Schofield now just working his way through the first McDonald's drive-thru.
First window.
And looks like Dyson got to him quicker than we... Oh, Bobby Anderson, being as courteous as one can be, putting himself in the wall to get out of the way.
Yeah, that strategy usually doesn't work out too well.
Pearson's going to be in a pickle here, heading into the Xfinity hot spot. He had Anderson to get around. Now he has Schofield to get around, as he has closed back into about a second and a half through all those frollies that Dyson did go through here, as we're through the Chevy thing and second window, pickup window, McDonald's section.
I will say,
no room.
Oh, Schofield a little bit loose, but I will say, Pearson is a little bit quicker sometimes through these 90-degree corners. But they get to Jiggly City, and Dyson just, somehow or another, he's able to put the throttle down.
Joke?
No, that is the name.
Remember
of
the map?
We refer to our map.
Oh yeah.
But we notice he can just get on the throttle a little bit better, a little bit more throttle control, because you're not quite flat out through there. So whoever, Van de Sant, 3rd place, overshoots the corner behind our leaders. I believe he went into the safer tire barrier there. He missed the concrete wall, but we'll try to dial up a replay if we can.
He was finally having such a good run today, too.
Yeah, he was having a really good run, and he hasn't lost very many positions. Looking at the scoring and timing, he lost a few seconds, but he did not lose the position. Matt DiCiani is 3 seconds behind him still.
So, guys, I'm going to dial up some numbers here because it's always fun to do that. Currently, Dyson on a 28-lap stint. Pearson 27-lap stint. So, say both of them can go another 7-8 laps. That puts us at lap 70. 30 laps to go. I don't see why we'd be fuel saving because there should be plenty of fuel in the books with a 35-lap fuel run. So, I'd imagine they can go full bore.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any more saving at this point. We do have a replay. Let's take a look exactly what happened to Van de Sant. Now, he had just gotten around the lap car of Anderson, heading into the first corner of the track, and he does get the tire barrier, which is a lot softer, and he's able to get a pretty quick recovery. Throws her in reverse, immediately gets out to the straightaway, doesn't even lose a position. So a very quick recovery for that 96, but it is going to
fastest lap of the race, Dyson.
And Dyson just ran his fastest lap of the race with a 25.4. That is absurdly quick.
Yeah, that is for a road course, especially a street course, is impressive. Obviously, Andrew Dyson has shown with Sonoma about 3 weeks ago how good he is on these right and left-hand turn courses. I saw someone put snake courses earlier today. And showing why he's so good as we go back through the Xfinity hotspot.
This track requires basically an entirely different skill set than a Sonoma, where Sonoma is a really big finesse track as Dyson pancaked the wall there in the hot spot, so that will hurt his endeavors. But this Sonoma is all finesse. Watkins Glen is kind of more about aggression. You know, you can kind of go one by one, but this place is more about precision and balls. Like, that's what you need to. You have to be precise because there's no room to make mistakes, but you just have to be flat gutsy to know that you can send it and to send it at the right degree in these really narrow sections like turn 4.
Yeah, you absolutely can, and it is really all about who can drive it in deeper, who's a little bit braver, because it's a fine line. We've seen it time and time again. One driver tries to drive it just 10 feet deeper into the corner, and they hit the brake pad right where they think they need to hit it, and they go sailing into the outside wall. So you gotta know.
That's me.
That's Cam. But you gotta know the car. You gotta know its limits, and you gotta know your limits. And I know it's tempting, especially when you get comfortable with the car. We get later in the race. You've been making lap after lap. You start to feel consistent. You think, well, I could probably squeeze a little bit more out of this car, and you try to do that, and then
a little bit more balls.
Yeah, exactly. It's not 11 o'clock yet. I don't know if we can do that. But, we have a little bit of a situation where you get comfortable with the car, you start over driving, and that's where the mistakes come. We did have a slight error with our feed on our end from the broadcast, so hopefully everything's all right.
I think I
just had a little wall endeavor there, as I'm seeing on our... Well, actually, that was a while ago. Sorry, I'm not live.
We have a bit of an issue I'm working on.
Just working on some technical difficulties as we work through the Xfinity hotspot. No pun intended. But Van de Sant working his way through Jiggly City. He is going to exit that corner into the second McDonald's drive-through window.
I don't know what I did, but I kind of fixed it. I pushed a button, and then it's all working now.
So Carlos says he pushed a button and things started working again.
It's not. You didn't press the bop. You got to press the boot.
The button I pushed really shouldn't have fixed anything. It's equivalent. I don't know. Just keep cautions out.
Oh, we do have a yellow flag here on lap 66.
I think that's a rando or an incident or something that is not pertaining to a wreck.
Sean O'Brien just left pit road too.
So SOB had just come out of pit road when that happened, but he's 7 laps down.
Oh, yeah.
Current lucky dog is going to be Schofield. He just went a lap down, so he should be the free pass. That'll put 7 on the lead lap.
Van de Sant, DiCiani, and Hoyt's mother top 5, and the only other person on the lead lap is Gitter in 6, and as you said, it'll be 7 with Schofield. We have 3 that would be 1 lap down, 2 that are 2 laps down, and then after that it is a lap after lap as the attrition sets in.
Yeah, and I would have to imagine everybody's going to come down pit road, get their final stop of the race in. They should be more than in the clear to make it from here and tire wear, not really much of a concern. So we may see some drivers just take fuel only. But as they work their way down pit road, it's almost a guarantee. And as Schofield takes his way around, we're going to throw it to a short break. We'll be back before the drop of the green and capture the final 30 some odd laps here at Chicago to see who comes out on top.
back.
And welcome back, everybody, to the 100% Cup Series race here at Chicago Street Course, unless you were on the submarine that sank off the coast of Canada. Joined alongside Andre and Corey.
The submarine
so we're
That was not what you prepared.
That's a bit of a low blow, if you know what I mean.
yeah. Did I say off the coast of Canada?
You said a submarine. Okay, technically a submarine will sink. That's the point.
Welcome to everyone
Oh,
except those that
yep.
drowned.
The submarine that imploded.
Submarine did its
Yeah.
job and sunk underneath the water.
Yep. All right. So this is why Cody does not lead us back from break ever.
Cody, you had a
We're here
chance
on-
and you ruined it.
Yep. We're here on lap 6.
Congratulations, Cody. I just took your
Cody
job.
would strike out in T-ball.
Yep. Okay. I'm just gonna shut up now.
You don't
Andre,
joke
take
about
over.
that. I struck out the team.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cody Bird.
You struck
If you
out in
swing 3
T-ball?
times and miss it, that's a
Cody
strikeout.
Bird,
I wasn't that good as a
telling us
kid.
about the sinking submarine. Anyhow, lights are off on the pace car.
Pretty hard to hit
And
balls.
it is going to be an all Aussie front row. We got Dyson and Pearson. See if Pearson can maybe try to get a jump here on this restart, if at all possible.
Try to get jumped in Chicago.
Try to get a
All right.
jump. Let's not go that far. But behind him, we've got DiCiani and Lucas Hoitzma, who just typed in chat. He was offended by your joke, Cody. And I mean, you really got to offend somebody to make them type in chat while they're driving. I'm pretty sure that's like against the law at this point. So, you know, he's willing to like get thrown in jail. That's how offended he was, Cody.
Yeah, that was a really bad joke, and I apologize.
Sensitivity
You
training.
can write to my boss,
I'll see
Andre.
you Monday.
I am not his boss. But in the meantime, everybody's heading down towards the McDonald's drive-through.
What about the nice time? How's it bean time?
I mean, that
You're
is
beat again.
Good question. That's a good question. We are headed down towards the final turn of the track, I believe. It's hard to tell. They all
Nope.
kind of.
Haha.
Nope. Okay, they kind of blend together here. It's
This is turn
streets.
12.
I think we're
Turn
halfway.
12 and- Nope, I was right. It was the final corner, you fools. So the pace
I'm
car
watching the
pulls
wrong feed.
off.
I got 3 of them going.
Well, then watch the right one. Anyways,
we tried
it
to
is
open
going
your
to
eyes.
be Dyson leading the field down into turn 1. And Pearson, again, going to have to settle for second place, although he does exit the corner closer than he has on any other restart. See what he's got headed into turn 2. He's got DiCiani in 4th right behind him. Or 3rd, Lucas Hoitzma is 4th. P5, Alex Van de Sant, who, by the way, was temporarily disconnected during that last caution sequence for about a lap or 2. Rejoined the session and somehow gets back into 5th, so good recovery there, whatever may have transpired. But the Aussies pulling away. Lucas Hoitzma closing into that number 4. Van de Sant, Gitter, Schofield all a little bit further back. And we're single file with 31 to go.
You know what we can do to make Cody feel better? Let's try to say everybody's name as wrong as we possibly can. That way he feels like he's not the only one.
Wow. Thanks.
So currently
guys.
right now, Andrew Dysoon is leading over Niall Pearson. Say it, French.
Pearson.
So
There
Who's,
was a
who's
joke
in the
with
booth
Neil-
with you right now, Corey?
There's a joke with Neil Bonnet back in the day where a French reporter kept calling him Niles Bonnet.
Oh, Neil Bonnet. No,
And
Bonnet.
Daika Giannini is in 3rd with Lucas Poismua in 4th.
I feel like just using a French accent. That's not even. That's just kind of cultural appropriation.
This
Yeah.
is the perfect segment for Adam Benefield to like not be in right now.
Yeah, we're talking about getting the driver's name wrong, and Menifield's not even in the race anymore, so we can't tack the D onto the end of his name.
Well,
Yeah.
just add a D to everyone's last name. I could do that too.
You
It's
know,
all about
you
Cameron
guys,
Lucas
Stone.
Hoyt's mad. There you go.
you guys are really hurtful right now. So,
Well,
The-
Cody, life is pain.
yep, life is
I
pain.
think that would actually work pretty well for Lucas. Though. Lucas Hoyt's mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is kind of mad right now. Pay attention, Lucas.
Oh!
Quit
I feel like
Oh.
everybody's kind of mad. I'm not like I'm not sure there's too many drivers that are enjoying themselves right now. If you're
Andrew
not,
Dyson.
well, no, because he's not even going to get scored for this,
Dysoned,
so he's
yeah.
probably not having a great
Pretty
time
hard to
either.
enjoy yourself.
But
right
you win the
now.
race and you get points violation. That's being Dysoned. Pearsoned is when you screw up at Richmond. You get
Oh, God, Patrick!
Uh-oh. Gittered.
Pat-
Oh, what do we got? We got
Oh well, there's whoa.
Oh, we got debris on the track.
We got Deborah.
Oh, he's
Debris.
missing the.
Oh,
We got
the
debris,
right
we got
front
circles, we
fender.
got smoke, we got every which thing.
He's got a
Cam,
hole
you're
in the
pretty
car.
close to that debris. You all right there, buddy?
I'm good. I thought it came off of my car. Oh God, I just killed X Brinson.
You got a replay.
All right, so let's take a look and see what happened
Off
here.
the Richter here.
Patrick Gitter drove it in a little bit
Oh,
deep.
man.
and a
So
little
the
bit of a
John
lockup
Madden
limit.
analysis is he hit the slowdown pedal, but the car just said, "I'm good."
Yeah, and he got the concrete wall. That they need to extend that tire barrier because that's about the 5th driver I've seen in that exact turn hit the concrete rather than the
If they
tire
extended
barrier.
that the tire foot barrier, that tire
Isn't that
barrier,
where Harvick hits
the
it?
turn would be like 1 foot wide.
I mean, the whole track is 1 foot wide, and at least it wouldn't be breaking the cars all the time.
So if the track was negative feet wide, it wouldn't exist. So maybe that would be a good thing.
Well, he's down pit road.
Oh, pit road, someone.
That's going to be Patrick Gitter.
Gitter.
He's trying to get. He's
Whose dog
gittering
is
a new
this?
fender.
Whose dog is this?
What's the dog doing?
Wolf?
What the dog doing?
Who let the dog out?
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to apologize. This has gone off the rails.
Yeah,
Yes.
I apologize. This was all
But-
my fault.
But we are in a position where we've got 6 cars on the lead lap. One of them is 2 seconds a lap faster than anybody else. We're doing the best we can.
We
with what we're
basically
given.
went into this race knowing that we would have to bring the quote-unquote entertainment, as Carlos is.
Yes, this is not what we're saying is this is not a standard broadcast. Sometimes we're put in these situations. We've had races like this in
Yeah,
our
YouTube
set
chat.
before, where we just kind of goof off a little bit more, and we kind of just try to make it as entertaining as we can when the on-track product is, let's say, maybe not the most exciting. But in the meantime, we do have an answer to our question. Dave Hoytsma, so that's the Hoytsma family dog. So he is now on the pit board. He is 100% Cup Series famous. It's Lucas Hoytsma in the should have ran Chicagoland 07.
Oh, it's mad.
Makes his way through that little bend down into a 90-degree corner. He's going to go through the first window of the McDonald's drive-through. And he is trying to reel in DiGianni, but DiGianni's found some speed. He's up onto the podium position, which is as far up the grid as he's been tonight. And he's pulling away from Hoytsma. So he's really not doing too bad, and if he keeps this up, he's looking at a podium finish. Behind him, you've got Van de Sant, who has definitely lost pace from the beginning of the race. That could be a result of some damage, or maybe just knowing that it's a long race. Take it easy, don't break the car. Everybody's making mistakes, but either way, he's all the way back in 5th. Schofield, one of the rookies this year, currently running P6. Patrick Gitter still in the pits. They have not gittered him a new fender. Tanner Marty 1 lap down, Hodgson, Ryan, those guys are all 1 lap down. Got a couple drivers 2 down. That's going to be Anderson and Princeton, who Cam admitted to killing moments ago, so that's interesting. Randy Drumhiller, Kevin Steele is 5 laps down. Mars Hickenbottom does have some competition back there. He said the one thing he wanted going into this race was somebody to race with. Well, Damaris and SOB are both 6 laps down.
And they're pretty close proximity, to be honest.
Yeah, it is 4th position. That's an actual legit battle. Jason, nobody calls him Jedi Taylor. He's 10 laps down. And then you got the graveyard, Hoffman, Benefiel. Stone's not in the graveyard yet, but he's got 1 foot in the grave. And that is pretty much running out everybody who is still on, at least within the service here. There's 2 more drivers that aren't listed, but they are DNF'd, and I don't think the graphic's going to scroll. So in the meantime, Dyson continuing to maintain that 1 second lead. Everybody good on fuel, everybody good on tires. I want to point out the poll in chat. Do you consider a brat a hot dog? It has flip-flopped several times so far tonight. It has gone from yes to no, yes to no, yes to no. We have 15 votes. That's quite good interaction. That's about everybody in chat. And it is definitively, at this point, unless anything changes, which again, everybody's voted, so I don't think it will. No, by 1 vote, a brat is not a hot dog. So
Joke's on you, I'm logging
all of
into my
that.
personal account.
Oh, now Carlos is going to try to... He's stuffing the ballot, logging into his personal account.
Not again.
Oh, I got a question. This one maybe get some people in trouble. Is this race coming back next year on the 100% schedule?
Absolutely.
Well, actually, is it even coming back in the real schedule?
Absolutely.
First question.
So, and I will explain why. So I was talking to a buddy of mine. This race sold a lot of tickets. Now, he was convinced that it was because it's a good idea. I disagreed. I said the reason that this race sold a lot of tickets is that, number one, It is convenient. Everybody in the city that wants to watch this race, they don't have to go anywhere. They drive a few minutes, boom, you're at the track. Also, it's a novelty. It's the first street circuit since the 50s. I'm not going to say it's the first because it's not. But this is a new thing. This is it's kind of like Bristol Dirt. People want to see it just for the sake of it. And so tickets sold, people will watch on TV, even if they don't like the idea. But the thing is, NASCAR doesn't care why people are attending. They don't care why people are watching. They care about the numbers. And the numbers say, this was great. So they're going to do it again, probably another year or two. And then I could see it probably being phased out. But I absolutely believe it is coming back next year.
Well, look at the Coliseum. The Coliseum was all like a 95% sellout year one and just about 60% year two. And I'd be very hard pressed to believe that'll come back year three. But I do agree, probably will come back. But from a 100% Cup Series virtual perspective, does this come back on the calendar next season if indeed it comes back in reality?
Absolutely not. There is no chance. You see the difference between this and Bristol Dirt, and I am fully prepared to be removed. Bristol Dirt was actually a good race. This has not been.
Sorry, I just had to take care of some trash there. Just had to take out the trash. We're just not letting him back in.
All right, get him back in here.
All right, Cody, go ahead.
I called that one. Bristol Dirt was actually a good race this year. But I have a feeling that in real life, this is not going to be something that's going to want to be repeated. But that's, again, personal opinion, and you know what they say about people with opinions.
Everybody has one.
You're saying words, and I'm hearing them.
Yep.
Shout out Nolan Hodgson.
Fun fact, I was going to move you, and then I saw somebody move you, excuse me, before I did.
Yeah,
What?
I knew it was coming, so.
Get her behind
Bless
the
you.
wall. Take them to the hauler.
Officially done. That may be another. I don't know how many laps you were behind him. No, you're not.
24.
Oh, yes, Cam is barely going to
If
get
he
around
runs
him.
every single lap, he would be very, very close to being able to get up to Gitter.
It's a possibility. We do have Patrick Gitter in the infield care center. Let's maybe see what happened from his perspective. Mr. Gitter, you got a copy?
Yep, we're
Well, Patrick, it's been a rough race for everybody. Not just you. The whole field is out here struggling, but unfortunately that 21 lost a right front fender and then wound up behind the wall. What happened from your perspective?
I was following Princeton. He was, I don't know, 1 or 2 laps down, and I was waiting to see if he was gonna whoa up early into the corner. Didn't see it happen right away, so I was like, all right, I'll follow him around. And then he's in the racing line, starts to check up like he's gonna let me around. So I'm like, okay, well, I can either run in the back of him or go inside and try to make a pass here in this turn. And couldn't get the car slowed down in time and smashed the right front into the wall as a result. So maybe I could have gotten it slowed down earlier, but I think he also didn't need to wait till the last second to get it slowed down to the braking zone.
Yeah, it's, again, been pretty rough for everybody, and I think a lot of drivers are having issues with the traffic. It's kind of a narrow track, and if one driver makes a mistake or does something unexpected, it's hard to avoid. But we've been asking everybody in the infield care center, Patrick, what is your take on this Chicago street course? What was your experience before the incident, and how you feeling about doing some street racing?
Yeah, man, I like it. It's totally different. It's so technical, and there's like coming out of the carousel, this car gets so uneasy. So I mean, you could hit your line perfect, but if you don't have the right throttle control coming through the corner off exit, I mean, you could still lose it, depending on how your car catches the bump, if it's scraping, bottoming out, things like that. But it's fun, man. You got to be disciplined here, big time. I think the road guys are dominating tonight. We knew that Dyson was going to be fast, and he's definitely shown his pace here. But it's been fun. It's different. It's nice to kind of change it up a little bit.
All right, so would you be interested in coming back to this track again?
I mean, if I had a choice between Chicagoland and here, I'd probably take Chicagoland. I'll put it like that.
All right, so it's fun, but maybe better alternatives.
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, I'll give a shout out to Hoytsma. I like that paint scheme he's driving. That Chicagoland reference. That's a cool car. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would if it was on the schedule. I mean, I would come back and run it again. It's fun. It's something different. And I mean, everybody's new to it now, but I mean, the more seat time and practice we all get, the better we're going to be at it.
Absolutely. Well, Patrick, we're sorry the race ended the way that it did. Hopefully you get some better luck next week. You're still, I believe, in the lead for the Rookie of the Year standing, so that's a big benefit there. But hopefully we'll be talking to you soon under better circumstance.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for letting us come down here to chat. Shout out to EPI, Team Conti, Martin PC, and C12 Design Shop. Appreciate those guys helping me out this week. Thanks to you guys in the booth.
Alrighty, thank you.
Yep, appreciate it, guys.
Guys, I do want to point out that the battle for the lead is coming back into fruition. Pearson not dropping off, still only within a second and a half. And I did see Dyson start to show his humanness and scrape the fence a few times. And as we've seen, it only takes one or two bad contacts to slightly spew out that car.
Giving it too much beans currently.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot. And, this gap is kind of floated between 1.3 up to as much as 2, then back down. I don't know if Dyson's just taking it easy because he knows he's got the faster car, or if Pearson is just kind of maybe trying to conserve a little bit for a late race charge. But it's been hovering around there, and we'll keep an eye on it. There's Kevin Steele navigating some traffic. Again, he's still 5 laps down, P13 currently. And he is right behind Nolan Hodgson, who is, again, the kidney stone of the race. Nobody's getting around that 12 car unscathed. So he's going to be, I'm sure, having a fun time with that. But behind him, Bobby Anderson, he's, again, a few laps down. Everybody just very separated at the moment. But, yeah, just not a whole lot going on track other than the gap lead just kind of stagnating. DiCiani, he's 4 seconds back now, so he's lost a little bit since we last checked in. Hoytsma is 6 seconds back, so he's still not at risk of losing that podium position despite the pace fall off. But there's the difference between Pearson and Hoytsma. DiCiani in the middle. It's quite a bit. I don't think they're going to be within striking distance anytime soon, but as they work their way through the Xfinity hotspot, we do have a replay. Something must have happened. Oh no, it was Van de Sant. Something's wrong. There's something wrong with that car. It's leaning on the right front. And he locks it up.
Well, at least he picked the one area that has a tiny bit of runoff space. So
yeah, didn't hit anything, and I'm not sure he even lost a position. But I think something's broke on that car because the way it was leaning on that right front when he came out of the corner didn't quite look like the other setups. A little bit of lock up there at DiCiani.
Cameron just passed 2 cars.
Yeah, coming through the left-hand bend there. DiCiani on screen, currently with a solid podium effort here in 3rd. Although Hoytsma only about a second and a half behind him, so that bottom end of the podium definitely still not off the cards here on the evening, as gap, as you said, Andre, went down 1 1/4 seconds. Well, it's bounced back up to its highest effort since that last restart, upwards of 2 seconds now. So Dyson's starting to pull the cards out. But and if you're tuning in, which you're probably not, but if you are tuning into this late, Andrew Dyson does have the asterisk on his name that due to paint scheme mismatch issues, as Cody's English is marinating into me right now, the race winner may or may not actually be the race winner if indeed we forecast the next 20 laps as they currently stand.
Yeah, this is a situation that I don't believe has ever occurred in 100%. I believe the closest incident would have been last year with Nick Ottinger in his first race. He was in a 25 after signing up as the 125, but because he has a contractual obligation to run the 25, it was waived. Now, I don't believe Andrew Dyson has any contractual obligations with anything through iRacing to run the 41, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
You see Damaris right there. Unfortunately, the leaders caught him at a very inconvenient place. He basically had to come to a stop down against the wall and let him go. That's one of the difficult things about a track like this, is if you're not the fast guy, it is difficult to let these guys go. There's really nowhere to take the car. I mean, it's narrow, it's hard to pass, even if you're trying to let somebody pass you. It's not easy if they catch you in the wrong place. If you get one of the longer straightaways, okay, but any of the more technical sections, and it's just going to be difficult. Now 3 seconds between Dyson and Pearson, so it's been another second extended over these cars behind our leader. Icciani 6 seconds back, Hoytsma in 4th, he's 10 seconds back. Anasant 25 after his mishap. Schofield a minute 15, so he's about 10 seconds from going a lap down. Then we get into the drivers that are not on the lead lap.
Now guys, this is kind of scary for the competition right now, because you have Dyson and Pearson, which at any time can win one of these road races. And of course, we still have, what is it, the Indy Road Course up before the playoffs. We have the Charlotte Roval in the playoffs. But those guys aren't just good on the road courses. While they haven't snuck out an oval win, they have top 5 potential. Really, each of them do. So at any one of these races, I mean, maybe they don't sneak out a win with, with the likes of John Delaney and company in Benefield, but they could easily both be top 5 sleepers any race. And with these road course wins, playoff points, and all this stuff that comes along with it, definitely could give them long-term playoff longevity.
And it could, as our leader kind of stagnating now. 3 seconds is the gap. It was about the same last time by. Icciani 7.4 back, however, so both these drivers starting to pull away from third, running similar lap times through the first McDonald's drive-through window.
I think we need a little bit of spice right now, guys. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna ask Siri to say a random word. And whatever that word that she says, we have to just discuss it until something of note happens on track. You game for this?
Okay.
Sure.
Hey Siri, say a random word.
I didn't get that. Could you try?
I didn't get it.
I don't get the game.
We just need a random topic that's just,
No, I know. I was playing the game.
Oh, he doesn't get it.
Oh, hey Siri,
Oh, I get it. Wait.
give me a
But I
random
lost.
topic. All right, that failed. So
All right.
all right.
Here's what
How
I.
about-
Here's
So
something
that's
that I can
one
talk
mess
about.
up for Cody, one mess up for
Look.
Corey.
I don't like look. Okay, I don't promote going on like completely unrelated tangents during a race. But again, nothing of note is really happening. A lot of separation. We've got 5 cars on the lead lap. So if we want some entertainment value, I just got to say I have discovered probably my favorite thing on the entire internet. But there is a community of people that collect smoke detectors.
What?
And they'll have hours and hours and hours of videos showing off their 200 plus smoke detectors that they have. And they know the make and model, the name. They'll take them apart, show you the ionization chamber, whatever that is. And they'll say, yeah, this has got a really good ionization chamber. Some of them even have like sentimental value. They'll pick up a smoke detector, like, yeah, this is the one that was in my grandma's hallway when I was a kid. And I thought it was just one guy, because I found him, he commented on somebody else's video where he saw a smoke detector in the background and asked him what model it was. And I said, that's kind of a weird question to ask. So I clicked on his channel, and of course he collects smoke detectors. And I realized from his comments that it's like a whole community of people. And I still can't figure it out, but I'm intrigued.
All right, so I
Yeah.
just went to a website, random topic generator, and here's a good one. What's the most annoying habit someone can have?
I get
Chewing
really
with their
annoyed
mouth
by
You can
people
relate
that
that
go.
to sim racing, or you can relate that to any random topic.
I
I'm
get
with
really annoyed by people that go into random topic generator websites.
But no, I'm with Cam. Chewing with your mouth open is... My mother does that with everything. And it infuriates me. There's something about it.
So for me, it's the people who go to the store, grab a snack, chips, whatever, eat it while walking through the store, and then go to the register and pay for a consumed item. Just irks me to no
Yeah.
end.
I don't see that often, but yeah, it does.
Okay, so I actually, going kind of off topic, and this kind of irritates me. Why do babies have a built-in soft spot in their head?
All right,
Okay.
you're being
So,
removed.
wait.
I don't
Hold
know
up.
the answer to that. So
Okay. So maybe Cam can answer, but it's almost like babies have a self-destruct button on their head when they're born. They have a soft spot.
So, all right. So let's think about this logically, Cody.
wanna get into
Right? They have
biology,
to.
man.
They have to come out of a rather small opening.
Right. But
So they need to have a certain level
Push
of
factor.
malleability to their
Yeah, they gotta be
head.
malleable.
Malleability, that's a real word. That's a big word.
okay. But me and a coworker were discussing it. It just seems so illogical. Like it seems logical, but it also seems so illogical because all you have to do is press the child
Not
on that
F
spot.
logical, not Q logical, E logical.
Yeah, like if you touch that baby on that spot, it's like a self-destruct button.
You
Which
gotta do more than touch.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
you gotta hit it pretty hard.
Yeah, you gotta apply some
Okay.
pressure.
But
You're not trying to kill a whale. I mean,
well, true. Okay. Well,
You're not trying to kill whales?
But you know, it's
Oh,
just,
that's
it's
what
one
we
of
were
those
doing.
things, Like, there's a
no,
lot
that's
of
not what you're
things.
supposed to do with a no, it's a shark. If a shark's coming after
Oh.
you, punch you right in the forehead or something.
Or you stab it.
Yep.
You
Cam,
poke it in the eyes, which you're supposed to do.
yeah, Cam's got his shark stabbing
My
knife.
shark stabbing knife out.
Yeah, this broadcast has really gone off.
But
the
I
rails.
don't understand why the soft spot annoys. Like, why is that the number one thing that Cody thought of? Like immediately.
Well, it's you know
Well,
why?
alright.
It's because he always
Because
wants to
it's
punch a
illogical.
baby in the soft spot, but he has to hold back.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
It's the
Alright.
sound that makes
Okay.
me want to punch infants, Danger.
Okay, so about a week ago, some guy
Oh,
asked
no.
me to hold his. Some guy asked me to hold his kid, infant, and I just did not feel comfortable, and it was because of that soft spot.
So you just say,
Because I am worried that I am going to kill a child. I
Where is
I
the
have
soft
not
spot?
done that yet.
It's right in the very top of their head.
Well, yeah, no, like I'm just nervous that like something would happen and I drop the baby and kill it. Like I don't want that to
you're gonna
happen.
drop the baby upside down to like
You
a
are
Yeah, so
aware that,
if
like,
you drop the baby,
babies are
don't try to
really
grab the
durable.
legs because they'll just tilt the head down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like babies. I was just having this conversation with a buddy of mine. Like, you could almost like run them over with a 4-wheeler and they'd be fine because they're like rubber to a certain point.
Yeah, they're extremely durable.
Yeah, they're like rubber for a while.
Why are we acting like they're WeatherTech mats that you put in your car?
Well, because they kind of are. For the first like 6 months of their life, they are.
Okay.
Their
Yeah,
bones are
babies
like
don't
rubber.
like a baby doesn't actually have solid kneecaps till age 2.
Yeah, you ever see
I
a
wonder
baby
why they
crawling
just-
around all day, and then I think if I do that for 5 minutes on my knees, I can't walk.
It's gonna hurt.
Imagine if your knee was jello. That's basically
And
what it is.
and they know how to swim too.
They
Like,
got Dr. Scholl's knees.
Yes, they
Cody.
have their
Cody, if you want to be
They're
mad
blood
about like
to
a
6
biological, like,
Another caution, boys.
illogical thing,
No, we
then get a
don't.
caution on the track.
We do?
Do
No,
we?
don't.
Yeah, we do.
I have live telemetry. I don't.
Oh,
I
never
don't-
mind. That was just a local
No.
caution.
Okay, local
Oh.
caution.
Here's the local
As I was
caution.
saying, Cody, if you want to get angry about a
Oh, replay.
biological
There's a race going on.
thing,
It's the 29 Tanner Marty. Just got some smoke.
Oh,
it's a little bit.
Oh, that's a thing. That was a toe link.
was
Finger
that
link,
or was that a
something.
little rage?
I don't know if he just decided to put her in the wall there or.
Finger link.
No, that's a disconnect. So his equipment
Oh.
got disconnected. All the
Yeah.
tires immediately swooped to the left.
Yeah, USB. This went kaput.
That is a hardware failure. But anyways, Cody, here's what should annoy you, right? So what should annoy you is the fact that when a baby is extremely young, it knows how to float and hold its breath by default. It just knows that. It's instinctual. Right? But then at some point they forget how to swim. And then some people they just can't float anymore. Why do we lose this instinct?
It's
Right?
the
Like, if we
jello.
have it, why do we lose it?
That's why it's very important as a parent to take your infant to swim lessons so they retain that instinctual ability to hold their breath. If they go beyond 6 months and they don't have to do that, they lose it and they have to relearn it, which is much harder. So it's always good to take your infant to swim training, swim lessons, and dunk them because they will be fine.
Jesus.
He's right.
He's not
I'm a
wrong.
parent of 3. This is actual like life experience.
Yeah, he is correct.
Yeah.
I mean, I never learned how to swim. I always sink, and it's not just because I'm crippled. I just
I don't
can't
know how to swim. You know why? All my friends went to swim lessons one day, but there was a NASCAR race on, so I had the choice to go to swim lessons or to watch a NASCAR race. Guess what I chose?
So
NASCAR
what
race.
you're saying is if you one day drown in a freak
It's
cut
NASCAR's
brake
fault.
line accident and you can't swim away, it's because of NASCAR.
Yes, it was because of the 1998 Kmart 400. I remember it vividly.
So we can sue whoever the promoter was if that happens.
Okay.
As
Okay.
Tanner Marty has taken it behind the wall, perhaps to go to swim lessons. You know?
I'm gonna pop a gook here. The 1998.
Kmart 400, I believe it was. I think it was the Kmart 400. It was the Spring Michigan race on CBS.
Okay. It was the 14th stock race of the 1999 NASCAR Winston Cup Series. It was.
It was 1998.
Oh, oops. Okay.
Jesus.
Well,
Maybe it wasn't the Kmart. Maybe it was the Kmart race, so it was 1999. Okay.
okay.
So fair enough.
Okay. So I would have been 3 years old. It was dominated by.
Yeah, it was a
Dale
stinker.
Jarrett.
Dale Jarrett. It was a stinker. It was a caution-free race. It was a royal stinker. But...
Yep. Jeff Gordon finished second, and Jeff Burton finished third. So you can blame that podium for your eventual death.
Yes. Sounds logical to me.
Imagine going to a water park and actually going into the wave pool and actually requiring lifeguard assistance. Very embarrassing, but it did happen.
Oh my!
Imagine Corey's drowning one day, and with his dying breath, he curses Dale
Damn you,
Jarrett.
Dale Jarrett.
'Cause, I did not know the simple factoid that you go into a wave pool. I thought if I went out like halfway to I could still touch the ground. I thought when the waves came in, I would go in. But no, that brought me all the way out to the back wall. And luckily, people realized, hey, this kid is kind of not doing that well, and summons for help.
Yep. Well, another fun story. Tony Stewart actually ran out of gas that race and still finished ninth.
Yeah, that was one of the third to last caution-free race in NASCAR history. There was that one. The next one would have been the 2001 Talladega 500, which Bobby Hamilton won. And then the EA Sports 500, I believe the same year. That was the freak race with 2002, that was the freak race with Mark Martin and Jimmy Johnson on the pace lap.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that was the last caution-free race in NASCAR history. And of course, in this new world, actually, no, we could theoretically have it on a road course.
So, hold up.
Sonoma, for that matter.
Wasn't that also the last perfect race?
No, Jeff Burton won the last perfect race at New Hampshire.
That was the
New Hampshire.
restrictor plate
Yeah,
last race post 2000s deaths, as we do
Wait,
have.
Is that caution free?
Sorry, I was referring to that 99 race.
So, I want to point out real quick, this is unrelated. But you mentioned Bobby Hamilton, who, by the way, he was a stunt driver for Days of Thunder, and that directly got him related to NASCAR, and then he got his opportunities. Have you guys seen the rumors that Days of Thunder 2 is currently being
Brian with another
worked on?
spin on screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have.
Yes.
So Days of Thunder 2 may actually be happening.
Good Burger 2 is also in production right now.
Oh, yeah, but that's been in
so
production.
there's another movie that's in production. That's a sequel that I forget.
Toy Story 5.
And I also saw something about. Oh no, it's the F1 movie with Tom Cruise, where they're actually putting him in a car on the grid at Silverstone, but that's not a remake. That is
What?
just a brand new movie. Oh yeah,
What?
you didn't see that?
Yeah,
They're
that was a while
putting
ago.
A 60-plus-year-old man
Uh-huh.
in an F1 car during a live race.
That's the way I read
Yep.
it. I could
with
be
no
wrong.
experience.
Yep.
Oh,
I don't think he's gonna
'Cause
do the whole race.
No,
They
I
put
think
that dude from Top Gear in an F1 car. And he broke it. Basically said his neck was dead after one lap.
well, F1 is a joke as is already, so I'm not surprised. Pinnacle of motorsports.
Guys, we are in the we have completed 92% of tonight's race. This race is finally in its waning stages, with approximately 12 minutes of green flag action left to go. And Dyson in his asterisk inevitable win, up by about 6 seconds over his teammate, who may finish second, may bump up to the win. Question mark, asterisk, question mark, but that's what we got.
he is about 6 seconds up. Matt Dicciani is in third now. Actually, Dicciani has been running a little bit slower than Hoytsma, I think, the last couple of laps. It's about 3 seconds between them. I don't think Hoytsman's going to get to him, but just worth noting, Van de Sant is now the last car on the lead lap, 33 back.
So I say Diciani, you say DiCiani, and Cody, what do you say?
I ain't even going to try.
Fair enough.
I would say probably DeCiani.
I would say that DeCiani is the correct pronunciation.
Did I say something right?
You're such a deech there.
Did I say something right?
Maybe I'm just getting a little bit too into the Italian sounding of it, you know?
Yeah,
It's,
I'm
it's
with
DeCiani.
Ooh, look at
All
the
right,
nice
we're
little, like,
done.
Sun
I gotta hear the
reflections and
music
sun
in
going
it.
down here.
Cam, I know for a fact you just have like the Spider-Man pizza theme playing in your head right now.
No, it's actually Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, that too.
A little
Margarita.
Italian.
It's a me.
A Raven
Or
Dirty.
Lamy.
So wait, we've determined that I can't speak English, I can't speak Spanish, and I can't speak French.
Italian.
Maybe can I speak Italian? Is that my
Maybe.
secret? No, that's false because that one guy who ran the LA Coliseum race, I couldn't pronounce his last name.
Well, you do like Kyle Larson, who has exhibited fascist behavior, so maybe.
Oh,
Okay. Well,
Cody, can you speak animal? What sound does a cow make?
moo.
All right, well, at least you didn't say quack, so you get something right.
Moo.
Moo. Well, I only said that because I am a cow.
Oh,
So,
God.
oh.
self-deprivation.
My car is a cow.
Have you been milk? Are you leaking? Have you been milk?
No. I wasn't
I don't-
itchy today. So, I don't know what that means, but
Maybe
Itchy
you should get
cow.
tested.
probably. But I also made a really bad pork roast, so I don't know. I can't cook, I can't speak, I
You're a
can't do
cow
anything.
that can't cook pork. That's
Wasn't that a good
You
thing
should
though? I
work
mean,
at
like,
Chick-fil-A.
I'd be more
Yeah.
concerned if you could.
Yeah. So, nope, this has really gone off the rails.
That's like Animal
to
Farm
say
the
it's been
sequel.
off. To say it's gone off the rails implies that it once was on the rails.
For about 35 seconds when the race started, that's when it was on the rails. And then it was just Ashtabula train disaster of 18 whenever it happened. Just off the rails.
And next week's race hopefully is more on the rails, as we do have a replay queuing of something that has transpired. Van de Sant is now turning into Van de Cant based on his driving in the last 20 laps. And he's in the forest. He's in the
The drive-throughs to the right.
He wanted to catch that chase.
He's in the
move.
curbside window. They pulled him up because his order wasn't ready.
Hate when that happens, but I'm sure he
Hey,
got his
sometimes they give you
fish.
the free little ticket for an apple pie.
I've never gotten that.
Really?
No, they
Or free ice
put me
cream
in that
for
window
all the
a lot of
free,
times too.
Yeah, we always get the free Be My Guest card. You get a free, like, Egg McMuffin or apple pie, depends.
Listen,
How
you know I
American.
get heated when it comes to McDonald's. I
Absolutely.
am mad that they haven't done that to me.
We can't let Carlos talk about the fillet fish. We can't let that happen again.
Oh no.
Hey, I've had a coupon in my app for the last week. I get a free large fry by spending $2. So I've enacted a $5 biggie bag from McDonald's. It's actually quite fabulous. Here's another replay on screen.
Ryan
Too much beans.
Star of a few replays,
That's his
and
fourth, and I think that's his fourth replay of the day. Nice little skitter-do there.
saved it though. Got it pointed in the right direction. He's back
Listen,
on
every
his way.
Friday is Free Fry Friday on McDonald's app.
No, every day I have a coupon. Spend $2, get a free any size fry. So I get a large fry, a McDouble, a 6-piece nugget, and a soda. It's about $5.50. It's literally a McDonald's biggie bag, but with more food.
Have you guys
Life
tried the
hack.
Grimace Shake?
I have not.
No.
Yeah, I have not tried it.
Neither have I. I'm too scared.
What
The
flavor is
thing
it?
is, I haven't been ordering DoorDash because the turnaround is currently blocked by the pole barn we're building, and the last DoorDash driver that tried to back out of my driveway ran over a shrub, so now I just don't trust them.
Oh, smoke! Somewhere
Uh-oh.
in front of the leader,
Uh-oh.
Damaris.
Second bottom, Ryan.
It's like the 00 and oh no, not Trevor Ryan again. He's gonna be going up over the bridge, down into the corner. A little bit of lockup. Okay, a lot of lockup out of the 00. He's gonna back it up.
Oh.
Oh, trying to get her going.
Back that bleep up.
And there
You're
goes
good.
Lucas Hoytsman.
You're good. And now what happened to Ryan?
So Now we'll try to find out what happened to Trevor Ryan in the 18. Went down the bridge.
Oh wait, no,
and
this
into
was the same thing from last time. I
Oh,
apologize.
same issue. Okay, so nothing new happened with Trevor Ryan. He's all right for now. Here's your race leader, Dyson. He's out by about 7.3 seconds. Matt DiCiani, he is 15 seconds back. Hoytsma 17. So those two definitely getting closer, but with only 5 to go, I don't think they're going to find each other quite yet. Van de Sant locked firmly in his position. He's not quite far back enough to be at risk of going a lap down, and he's not close enough to really catch anybody ahead, so he's kind of locked in.
Let's just Cam, he's in position, so we have 5 laps to go, and he only needs 3 more laps to get Gitter. So Cam will end up getting himself a 17th, barring any more issues.
Yeah.
That's the sound he makes.
That is, in all sincerity though, this happened to me in a league. I was at Martinsville, got wrecked out on the first lap, dead last at 27, and I just wanted to quit. And my teammate said, stay in it, stay in it, stay in it, stay in it. Ended up finishing 17th on attrition. Like, sometimes you never know when these 5-6 points actually matter, and it really is a proof of character to have the will to stay in it, when in all sincerity 95% of people would have said whatever and did something else with it.
Yeah,
I'm just built different.
Speaking of shout-outs, big one goes out to Kevin Steele, currently in 11th place. Hoping for one more guy to have some type of incident and get into the top 10, but a solid 11th place run for a new part-time driver.
Not a liquid run or a gaseous run or a plasmatic run. It's a solid run.
Yep. A very solid run.
Which you can also get from a fillet of fish if you eat too many of them. The number 4. Working his way around the corner. He's again kind of off
way down. How have we not used Vanessa Carlton once on this race? Making their way downtown. We're in a city, for leap's sake.
Walking fast, which I've never done.
I just have
Neither
Chicago's Chicago song in my head. The Saturday in the Park.
Hey, so a serious question: would you guys walk 500 miles just to run Chicago in again?
No.
Walk 500 miles?
Walk 400 miles. That's how long it is.
Well, I physically can't.
I would walk. Oh, right. All right. Would
put it this
you?
way: if somebody was like, "I will give you functioning legs to walk 500 miles for a second Chicago race," I would turn it down.
Hell, I would take Chicago Motor Speedway off of the defunct Loudon clone.
Oh, another replay here.
Bobby Anderson.
Crushed cornflakes, I think we're gonna see.
Is he gonna spill the cereal? He spilled the cereal.
There's just milk dripping everywhere from.
Speaking of Bobby, happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yes, happy Bobby Bonilla Day, everyone.
Do you know
what that
to
is?
the day.
So
That's a
Bobby
baseball
Bonilla-
reference.
Yes, there was a Mets player. I believe it was 19 or early 2000s. He had a massive contract that he signed, and part of the deal was that he deferred $1 million in payment for 30 years. So he will be getting paid until 2032, I believe.
Yeah, like
Or
1 point something million dollars.
We also have in chat Joseph Bartley saying "Ho, it's ma." I think that's supposed to say Hoytsma, but it's spelled "Ho, it's ma."
I think it's Ma. Oh, it's Ma.
Oh no!
Oh, it's Ma.
So it's
Oh,
no.
it's
that's what a promiscuous teenager
Oh, it's
hears
Ma.
from her mother.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
it's
Ma.
Ma.
Oh, it's
Ma.
Get
Ma.
your ass back home. Your curfew was at 11 with your trifling ass.
If
All right,
anybody
well, we
just
about-
tunes into the broadcast, like figure all these people are either drunk or high. I am sober.
I am also.
I am not.
Cam is drunk, but I'm not.
If it's not an Evanescence song, something about like, say something about sober. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
No.
don't think I've ever listened to an Evanescence song in my life.
I think that's a Tool song.
All right. So we have
Oh,
two.
come
to go.
on! Nobody involved with Tool has ever been sober.
2 to go.
Oh, yeah.
2 laps around the Chicago street circuit here, and the leader is about to get
Street
into a lot of
circuit.
traffic here. As
Isn't
they
that
come round the
Boston?
roundabout into the back straightaway, getting a Yorkshire pudding and a side of fish and chips.
That's not Australian. That's just racist.
That's my British accent, but British and
Ladies and gentlemen.
Australia, close.
I could use a bottle of water right now.
Ladies
Spot
and
and
gentlemen.
tea and a little bit of Vegemite sandwich is Dyson.
Vegemite.
Ladies and gentlemen, life is a race, and Corey
Put
is
the
the race.
Vegemite in the air because the trophy is going to go to a Kiwi.
Life's a beach in your
Aren't
hair, dude.
Kiwis different from Australians? This is just
Yeah, is it
incredible.
Kiwi, New Zealand?
What's
Yeah.
the Aussie bear? What's the Aussie bear?
Koala?
Foster's.
Forster's gonna have a Forster's with our Vegemite
Oh, you
sandwich.
said
It's
beer.
really
I thought
good.
you said bear.
I thought you said bear too. I'm like, the bear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Andrew.
Having a
yes,
cracking good time here.
you're about to win this race, and
I'm pretty sure that's the thing. They say cracking a lot.
yeah,
They do say cracking a lot.
he's absolutely dominated this race, and it's
It
just
sucks that he might not actually win it, but he's
Oh,
gonna
look.
win it.
we got Cam on broadcast again with no front end, right in front of the
Cam got
leader.
17. Hoorah!
One
Yeah.
more point in the books.
I'm trying to get Kevin.
Whoa, big block up in front of our leader.
Oh,
Oh,
Hodgkinson gets a
Nolan
little loose
Hodgson.
there.
okay. Most excitement we've had in 99.5 laps.
Coming through the whatever corner this is. Turn number
Xfinity
4.
hotspot.
Cam, watch
through
out!
the McDonald's drive-thru.
You're exposing your front end.
Ooh la la.
I bet you'd prefer I expose my rear.
Back
Dyson
into the
in
wall,
all
we'll see,
sincerity
baby.
Here. Dyson has this is going to be 1 lap shy of the perfect race. We talked about that last week with Miller. He had about 200 laps of perfect race. It's going to be 98 laps, so it'll be 99 out of 100. Who stole it?
Neil Pearson.
Yep, the
During pit
teammate
stop.
took the perfect race away. How is he going to feel about that one as he comes through the jiggly loop or whatever it was?
Well, this is actually redacted perfect race. So-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes Cam, trying to pass Kevin going through the McDonald's drive-thru.
This is turn number. This
He
is
almost spun out.
Whoa.
This is it. This is the final corner straightaway. Andrew Dyson may or may not have just won here at Chicago Street Circuit.
May or may not.
And it's in dominating fashion.
And Neil
that he
Pearson
may or may
may
not have won.
not have won, finished second or first or something here at Chicago, and Matt DiCiani gets the third.
Was it even a question that Andrew Dyson may or may not win this race? I mean, honestly, just a dominating performance. Pearson P2. DiCiani is going to be third on the podium. Lucas Hoytsma just missing out. He's 17 seconds back. Van Sant finishes in fifth. Well, he will finish within a few seconds here, but he is 51 seconds back, and then everybody else laps down. O'Brien crossed the line. Hodgson, Anderson, Schofield, those drivers are done. But it was about what we expected here at Chicagoland. Lots of attrition, lots of separation, and again, you know, the broadcast, we apologize. It definitely went off the rails, but there's only so much you can do with a...
Listen, I had a blast.
Yeah, Carlos had a blast. Hopefully you at home did
We
as
were looking
well.
for a Coke emulation. You didn't see it. If you were looking for Moon Car, we were as close to it as we're probably ever going to get.
Yep, I don't know where I am right now, so...
Yeah, absolutely. So,
So I guess with Dyson, it's going to turn out to be a matter of
Oh, we
Is
got a
there
replay.
when
Yeah, that was
was
a replay.
Damaris killed himself. When was his warning, and does it quote unquote time out at any point, or is it a permanent? It's 1, it's 2. I guess that's going to be what the differentiation is. Are we going to know in post race if this win stands? Stay on the edge of your seats here, folks.
I think he knows because he's not even celebrating.
the thing is, again, we're not 100% certain because Kevin Steele seems convinced that this is a second infraction. But Kevin
He
Steele's
was
not
an
an admin
admin for
anymore.
he was an admin
He
for a long
was,
time.
but he's not now. And if Damaris finds otherwise, maybe it stands. Maybe it's a warning. I'm not 100% sure, but he did not celebrate, so that probably tells you a little bit about that. Andrew Dyson with the asterisk takes the win. Neil Pearson, P2. Matt DiCiani is going to be third. Lucas Hoytsma, Alex Van de Sant, Jim Schofield, Trevor Ryan, Nolan Hodgson, Robert Anderson, and Alex Brinson going to round out your top 10.
Kevin Steele 11th, Randy Drumhiller finishes 12th, Sean O'Brien Jr. in the Cody Bird 13th position, Damar Secondbottom in 14th, Jedi Jason Taylor in 15th, Tanner Marty 16th, Cameron Stone 17th, Congrats, Cam. You fought through that. Patrick Gitter, 18th. Clayton Hoffman, 19th. Adam Benefield, 20th. And rounding out the field, 21st, Blake Giglio. And 22nd, Raymond Root.
And 23rd through 30 is nothing. I just wanted
Yes.
to have a chance to say something too.
Scared me. I thought I was
Okay.
missing something.
All right, so let's start with some interviews. We'll start out with third place, Matt DiCiani, however you want to pronounce it. We'll hand him off to Corey.
All right, Matt, a solid run here today. You didn't have anything for the Aussies, but looking at that car, it seems like it has had minimal damage and, didn't really see you have any chronic issues, and you have yourself a third, so you came out of here with a good run. How you feeling after a long run here at the street circuit?
Yeah, it feels great. I am tired. It's a lot of work. I am dripping in sweat. But yeah, I mean, the goal is to just not kill anything, and I hit the wall once decently, and that was about the only time I did it. But otherwise, the car was pretty good all night.
Now, did you take today's race as a get the best you can, or did you kind of enter this race more with a survival mindset? Because it kind of seemed like it was guys kind of were on each end of the spectrum there.
I kind of took it as try to capitalize. I'm pretty decent at road racing here, and plus this is like my home track. I live like 3 miles north of this place, so I kind of wanted to do well here, so I kind of embraced it.
Yeah, you did just that. You get yourself on the podium here, and we've been telling everybody, we've been talking about it in the mid-race interviews. Would you like to come back here in any capacity in the future, or did you kind of get your fill of this place tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'd come back here. I mean, I think tomorrow actual race will dictate if we do or not, but I think it'll be a good race tomorrow. But I mean, I'm always down to come back here.
All right, man. Well, solid run here on the streets of Chicago, and I think we're at Atlanta next week, so we'll see you there.
All right, man. Sounds good. Thank you.
And now Birdman, Cody Bird, will catch up with maybe second place, maybe the winner. Somewhat potentially, Neil Pearson.
Neil Pearson, this is Cody up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
All right, so first off, congrats on either a win or second place. We're not quite sure yet. So how does it feel after 100 laps at the Chicago Street Course?
I'm pretty knackered, but I'm happy to come away with the car relatively clean. I think that's the main thing to come away from here.
Yeah, throughout the race, we noticed it seemed like certain points of the run you could catch up to Andrew. Other points, it seemed like you would fall back. Was there fuel saving going on? I know you and Andrew are teammates.
So he took tires at the first stop, like an idiot. He forgot to turn them off. So I was able to, really just catch up to him. But then they normalized and he drove away. I was fuel saving just in case we had a green white checkered at the end, but I had enough to cover it, so which was good. So I didn't have to stop, and maybe he would have. So I don't know.
Yeah, coming home with the second place. Obviously, we're back to Atlanta next week. What do you have your sights set on for next week?
Survive. It's really hard doing super speedways with the ping that we have. So just survive and get as best as I can. So hopefully I can take that win off Daiso. He gets disqualified, and I'm locked in for the chase, and it'll be good.
Yeah, definitely a solid points run. Probably close the gap between you and 16th in points. We wish you luck for next week, and hopefully we're talking to you again.
Yeah, hopefully, guys. Thanks very much.
And that was second place, Neil Pearson. Andre, you got the maybe winner, maybe 22nd place finisher, Andrew Dyson.
Mr. Dyson, you got a copy?
Hey guys, all right.
Well, Andrew, that was a near flawless run. You led 99 out of 100 laps. Doesn't get much better than that. Just class of the field. Nobody had anything for you out there. First of all, what is it about this track that really just kind of clicked with you? And second of all, feeling a bit exhausted after the 100 laps here?
Okay, so yeah, the track, I've raced it a little bit in some other stuff like supercars and things, and although the track's changed a little bit now, it's still the same. So I've raced around here a fair bit, and I just really enjoy getting close to the walls and cutting the apex is really fine at the fences and things like that. It's really enjoyable, but it does take it out of you. It does kind of mean you need to focus 100% of the way. So it can take it out of you a bit. But yeah, well, I had some chances there to kind of take it a bit easy and save myself up, I suppose.
Yeah, your teammate mentioned that on the first stop you accidentally took tires, and it actually seemed to hinder your car a little bit. Were the fresh tires genuinely slower than some scuffed up sets?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So I came out the pits and I can't remember who I went past. It might have been Nolan down sort of into turn 6. And I was just kind of going in there and I already thought the car felt a bit slippery. I'm kind of going in there and the next thing you know, I'm locking the outside front tire and I couldn't stop for the corner. I'm like, oh, what have I done? And yeah, sure enough, realised I didn't change tires. So yeah, they're way slippery. It's strange how it works like that, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, iRacing is going to do iRacing things, sometimes not the most logical, but obviously the question on everybody's mind, and probably your own, you ran the wrong number.
Yeah, it's the second time I've done that now.
Yeah, it's not the first time, which means, as per league rules, this win may or may not stand. We're not 100% sure yet. The admins are going to have to look at it. Was it just a mistake, or do you have some sort of contractual like sponsor obligation to run the 41?
Oh, well, I could say I have some sort of contract, but I don't. It's just a mistake. So there's another league I run 41 in, and so I had this idea in my head that I'd leave the 41 paint job on my car for a few days to allow the other league guys to take photos of the cars for after the race, so that I'll have the correct paint job on for their photos that they put up. And then I just forgot all about it. So that's the way it is. I've done it before actually in the other league. This Australian league, which runs on Thursday nights, I've run the 100% Cup Series paint job in that league, which is, or actually it might have been a different league, I don't even know, but I've done the same thing, won a race with the wrong paint job, so it happens. But the rules are the rules, so if I lose it, I lose it. That's completely fair enough. And yeah, we kind of chatted during the race whether if we should swap spots or come up with any sort of strategery or collusion, whatever you guys call it. But figured
people do listen to us.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard you guys talking about that stuff before, but yeah, we figured it's best just to with respect to the league, just kind of race it out as per normal and let it play out organically. And so if I get disqualified, then that's the way it is.
And even if that happens, everybody knows who won the race. Even if it doesn't show in the stats, you definitely went out there, dominated the race, and took that checkered flag fair and square, regardless of what history shows. So congrats on a win, regardless. And got to ask you, we're going to a completely different track next week. We're going to Atlanta, which kind of races like a super speedway. Your teammate mentioned how the ping in the land down under is kind of making the super speedways difficult. How are you going to try to mitigate the damage?
Well, last time at a super speedway, I tried to run around the back and stay out of trouble, and then I had a colossal mess up at the end of the race when I was sitting between its playing with stuff. So same thing again this time. I'm just going to run around the back, trying to stay out of trouble. Maybe stick with Neil, see if we can sort of help each other. But yeah, just there to ride around, really.
All right. Well, Andrew, thank you for your time, and again, congratulations on a win. We'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys. See ya.
Andrew out of the booth, and I gotta respect it. He could have very easily let Pearson win that, because he knew that, hey, this probably isn't going to count anyways. And honestly, what was anybody going to do about it? He could have just let that happen, got his teammate a little bit of a bonus there, but he raced it out organically, like he said. And I can't say either way. Dominating performance, a something race from Chicago. Cody, I guess I'll ask you for your closing thoughts first, and then Corey.
Yeah, kind of happy to be going away from the street course and watching Atlanta next week. Should provide for some great racing, as we did just lose Corey, so it's just me, you, and Cam. But yeah, no, definitely dominated by Dyson there and put it to the field.
That he did. Well, Corey is out of the Discord, so I don't know if he's got some issues going on with his tech. Oh, nope, there he is. All right, Corey, closing thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of the race we expected. We knew that the Aussies would be up there dominating the race, and is exactly that. I did think a few more haulers would take the grid here, but it is as it may. You make the most of what you had, and we'll tow the haulers to the super speedway next week, where I'm sure we'll have a full grid and a full night of action here on the 100% YouTube channel.
Certainly. All right. Well, I've been Andre Graham-Bush, joined alongside Cody Bird and Corey Silva, as well as producer Carlos Acosta, and Cameron Stone, in-race reporter turned fourth commentator as his race went sideways. Thanks for joining us, Cam. And to the viewers at home, thanks for tuning in. We will catch you next week.